So, welcome back to another episode of Okay So Boom.
Boom.
I am your host, Storm.
I'm your host, Chiagoziem.
And today we have a very, very special guest. One of my good friends that I've known for over a decade. I think like 12-something years.
Wow.
Yeah. One of my Haitian brothers, another podcaster. They've been running for 740 episodes.
Yes, sir.
740 episodes. Have y'all missed a week? Do y'all do seasons or y'all
that's the one thing we wanted to focus on.
Just straight consistency.
Smart
yeah,
man.
like
Every week.
Even if we luckily because it's like three of us, so
okay.
If one of us miss a week, then two people can still do the show or bring a guest in or thing like that. But we never miss a week.
That's
like even during COVID when we were all scared.
Did y'all have to do it
we
on
did
Zoom
and all that. Like,
good audible.
Love
So that's what we take our pride on. That's why we have 740 episodes because we never really miss ever since we started.
And let the people know the name of the podcast.
The name of the podcast is No Nonsense Show. You can find it everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's gonna be a widescreen, no nonsense. Actually, I got a T-shirt on.
Yup.
It's gonna be that right there.
Okay.
With three faces.
I'll make sure to put the link in the
description.
description.
No Nonsense Show. Check it out, man. If you're sensitive, I don't know if it's for you, but if you got a sense of humor, yeah, go check it out.
Because it's not a podcast for anybody who's gonna take. Don't be a bitch.
It's a podcast for 09 Twitter.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah. Oh shit.
That's
a good description.
Yeah, don't be a bitch.
That's what it is.
The best way I could put it.
Yeah.
Let niggas breathe.
Only strong survive.
Yeah.
Only the strong survive.
For sure.
Well, man, it's a pleasure to have you on here.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
We had already did a solid 30 minutes, and come to find out, the whole fucking episode wasn't recorded. So, starting from fresh, I might one day throw out the audio just as an audible.
Bonus content.
We'll see, because it was a great conversation, and some of you motherfuckers need to hear that. That's a different conversation for a different day, or whenever that gets out. So, today, we're talking about ages between 17 and 30.
Okay.
Because the initial conversation was like, when was the last like decent generation? What year was that? Initially, he said 2003.
I thought it was 03.
I was like 96 because after 96, the kids got weird.
What you mean, like 03 is when it started or when it ended?
03, I think, was the last decent minded. Not programmed generation.
And what age was that cutoff for 03?
That the last one being born in 2003. So they're like, how old now? They're
19ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be 19. Yeah.
That's
why I said.
I agree. That's my sister's age actually.
03, right?
Yeah, she's born 03.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I feel like with 03, I was saying the reason why I didn't say 96 is because if you're born in 03, you have a 96 around the household.
You had a sibling. You're seeing the same
cousin,
cartoon.
Something
like
How do you feel about her friends then? Like,
so
she got any like weird, like any people in her grade are just like straight up fucking weird. Well, no, she's in college now, right?
Yeah, she's a freshman at Georgia State now. So it's kind of like Euphoria for high school further though. Like the whole Euphoria show, she said that's what it's like going to high school now.
Are they really in that much hardcore drugs? When we was in high school,
no, they are. No, they
when
are.
we was in high school, we just smoking weed.
No, they do drugs.
No,
they do drugs and they fuck.
We was just smoking weed.
They do shrooms,
bro.
Like they're on some tabs.
See, that's why
like
I was that's
early,
why I told you. I was like, the kids.
They're doing shrooms at 15, 16.
Yes, bro. Easy.
Yes.
I love shrooms, but at 15, like the shrooms not even gonna do this magic to your brain yet.
Shrooms ain't even the worst though. They do like what's the shit that's in Philly? I think it is like the shit in the balloons or whatever.
The
helium.
Whatever.
You say helium.
I say in balloons. I said okay.
Nah,
I know it's in
like
there.
Whippets or some shit.
But yeah, whippets. Hell yeah, Geno was doing that shit, bro. Hell yeah.
That. Like they do shit like that.
You can just get a whole water.
So Euphoria's not really lying.
No, very accurate,
bro. Which is very
people wild. Kids are they them now. You see what happened to Dwayne Wade's son? Like whole sex change before he was 18. Now she, So people are thankfully with this new internet age, we're seeing kids being enlightened early, but as a result, this is the effect of these people think they know what they got going on.
The kids or the parents?
The kids. Like, they're
but
not even 18. They already have a good sense of identity. They know.
See, but I'm not mad.
I feel like they don't have a good sense of identity.
I wouldn't be mad.
That's why they have all these different pronouns.
Exactly. I feel like
they don't.
They get their identity from the internet, like the same way that like women and men our age, like how men our age get like cool trends off the internet or what their favorite rapper say. Women our age get like phrases from like their favorite female artists or their favorite influencers, whatever. The kids grab all of that shit and just throw it out whenever the fuck they feel like it, because they don't have any real life experience yet.
That's why they had to cancel Andrew Tate. It's not even because he was really saying some bad stuff. It was just because. I mean, he was, but not all of his stuff.
It was sometimes, not always.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like not all of his stuff. It's not like everything he said was bad.
He's just wrong messenger.
He just looked like a human cop.
Like, it was a wrong messenger. He looked like a point.
Yeah, but the problem is the reason why they canceled him, they said he was influencing kids a lot. And for me,
and he was though.
He was, but the sad part is like that dude shouldn't be like that dude should be able to be present in the social media space regardless of what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, for me, I looked at it like this. Like, I was influenced by everybody, Lil Wayne, LeBron, you name it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I just looked at my dad.
True.
To see, I looked at my uncle. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really sit here and say I looked up to LeBron like that. Maybe how to get my crossover right.
Yeah.
But like,
sports-wise.
you know what I'm saying? But like.
That's another
I
thing,
don't
though.
look at LeBron to be how to live my life.
You don't know these
they
niggas.
don't have role models.
You know what I'm saying?
These little niggas don't have role models.
You don't know these niggas like that. So.
But I never looked at a celebrity as a role model.
No, but think about it.
It was my family.
These niggas don't have role models at all.
Barely.
Your family's not around? Even if you don't
look
have a pops.
Look at the baby mama culture though.
They don't
You have a
give a fuck what their
BM.
family
Hey, you have a kid. Throw an iPad. You know, now you're distracted. You know.
Like,
now we adding.
You feel me? Like their initial, because like you said, giving the iPad from birth, whatever. Their initial sense of their sense of identity. Okay, what do I think is cool? They find all that on the internet.
Not from your parents.
We hit the pavements and we watch people. We watch our parents. We watch everything. They don't go outside.
That's the thing. They don't go outside.
They're not as active outside as they used to
learn life.
They can do everything that we used to do by going outside in the crib.
And that goes
talking to your friends, playing video games, doing all that. You can do all that without leaving the crib. So why should they?
And that goes to what we were talking about earlier when we said that once you go outside, you hear all the cap on the internet.
Yeah.
You know,
immediately
like,
you see
it's all cap.
Social media and reality, two completely different things.
Completely cap. Because like we was talking about how, you know, like both genders, men or women, have like this crazy like preferences. Like you gotta be rich, you gotta be
this tall. You know.
Yeah, it went from.
I went outside. I'm not tall.
At all.
I had tall girls and short girls.
Yeah,
like they didn't really care.
We ain't this nigga, but like I'm not here. So it's like
no girl turned me down because I was too short. You know what I'm saying? Like
I've had two.
They said because you were short.
They was 6'2" though. So
okay, that's different.
You're ambitious.
That's different.
I climb trees, nigga. I told you this.
Yeah, but
I love like a tall, thick woman.
I feel you. But it's different though.
But yeah,
it's not different on you. It's different for them.
Exactly. Like so you're looking at a little nigga.
As a dude, like that don't bother me.
You feel me? It's not. But as a woman, you're looking at a nigga that you're 6 inches or 5-6 inches taller than. You like.
But I don't mean.
What am I gonna do with that?
How
it don't mean.
How you gonna dominate the bed type shit?
But you can, because when we in the bed, you're the same height.
I know they want to be tossed around.
I'm short. Doesn't mean I can't live.
Shit's gonna be a workout. 6'2" Amazon though.
You know, like I can go in the gym. You know, do a 90-day plan.
You're gonna think it's American Ninja Warrior that session, bro. That's gonna be tough.
Climber in this bitch, nigga.
But that's the thing; these kids are not outside at all.
No,
and that's the thing. They don't have any real life experience.
But when do they start? Because this
high school, college,
the age
outside.
Even through high school.
The age range is 17 to 30. So let's talk about our age range, 20 to 30. I'm 27.
25.
We might be the anomaly.
No, we're the last of the Mohicans.
No, I'm talking about even in our age range. Even in the dudes.
Explain that.
Cause some of the dudes in our age range fell victim to what these kids fell victim to.
That's true.
Which is what?
That's true. No, like
they're malleable. They don't have no balls.
Bullying.
Just falling into the crowd.
They just don't have balls, bro.
But okay, we all got bullied though. Guess what?
No, he's not talking about bullying.
I'm talking about being men, bro. Just being a dude,
being your own person.
Yeah.
But how is that defined with a generation full of technology compared to our generation? You know, how can you define what a man is when these niggas?
I'm not even trying to put definition on what a man is because I'm not that guy.
Okay,
you think it too literal.
I'm talking about the reason why girls are acting the way they are acting right now is because no dudes is giving them proper guidance. No dude is really providing it. When I'm saying those words, I'm not saying like guidance, like a dude's got to tell the girl what to do. Just making a girl feel safe.
Yeah,
let's say a random chick, let's say we meet, like we in a public setting.
Yeah.
A girl might get nervous just to sit next to us just because now they don't feel safe.
Exactly.
Back then, women felt safe. At least, at least dudes were still doing the bad stuff. Dudes were still out here beating women, raping women, disrespecting women. That never changed. True. But something happened now where women are just running across dudes that just don't make them feel safe. And that doesn't mean safe like they're gonna do them harm. Safe as for like they might talk to them a certain way.
That's half of it though. Yeah. Because like that's why I know I talk to a lot of women. They're like, yo, I'd rather give that nigga my number and go home and just block the number versus...
That's what I'm saying. Dudes can't even handle rejection.
Just saying no and going home because they know at the end of the day this nigga might flip out. Because there's been, over the last couple of years, how many women have we seen get murdered or just saying no type shit? That's crazy.
And I understand like back then these things kind of happen, and with social media we see more of it. But it went up. The hike went up. There's a hike. We can't act like there hasn't been a hike.
Especially post COVID too, though.
It was once COVID hit. It was like every crime in America just skyrocketed. It was like niggas. It was like, all right, we can't work, so we gonna steal. And niggas just became professional thieves.
And also,
it doesn't make sense.
So it ties back to what we were talking about before. What makes our generation different is that we still had that sense of nuclear family. You know, yes, we had people who were divorced growing up, but you still had an active co-parenting lifestyle. You know, I wouldn't say for everybody.
But you know what's weird though? I feel like nowadays, especially with like the emphasis on like mental health and making sure kids are taken care of, I feel like now, if ever, emotions, if anything has been more taken care of than before.
Yeah, emotions.
So why are y'all farther back than before?
Because they're not taking. Because with emotions, when you treat somebody with emotions, you got to be real with them. Yeah. We're not being real to these kids. These kids lose a sports game. We're giving them trophies. Yeah. So we catering to their emotions, but it's a bunch of lies. It's a lot of so what's happening is we have a bunch of kids now that never dealt with adversity. So when they turn 18 and 19 and they're in college, you remember that first hard class in college?
Chemistry, hell yeah.
Hey.
Yo, these kids were not built for that no more. that first hard class in college make you question your whole intelligence.
Hard.
Make you be like, yo, I studied.
Yo,
I did study,
and I got 70.
Nigga, I was up for 2 days typing this paper.
But these kids now, they're not built for that adversity. They're not built for that.
I gotta go see a counselor immediately. I gotta I might have to change the whole shaky.
I'm gonna tell you how bad it is. The professor's gonna give them a good grade.
Oh yeah, no child left behind is a thing now.
You remember when they used to start doing like, yo, you only have 4 tests, that's your grade, but we'll drop your lowest test.
Yeah.
That's like the candy. Now it's like we'll just curve it. You know what I'm saying? And it's because we, like you said, we've catered to the emotions so much, but we've only catered to one side of the emotions. It's the side of like, I just want to please you. I just want to give you the
exactly
so you can shut up.
You're right.
But we don't tell you to shut up.
You're 100% right.
We're not telling them to shut up. So when they get old and somebody told them to shut up, oh my God, the world is ending.
My head, what the fuck?
Misogyny. No, it's just your boss. It's just your boss telling you gotta work. Like it's not misogyny. It's just work. You gotta work.
It's like at the end of the day, somebody's telling you to do your job.
Yeah.
Why are you making this a problem?
Like, it must be the system. They're not accepting me for who I am.
Yeah, you're 22. You're not supposed to be the boss yet. You gotta grind. You gotta get
there are steps experience. On the ladder, my nigga. You have to climb them bitches like that. Like it's like you're not gonna get respect. Like I know me. I'll walk into a job after 6 months. I'll be the type of nigga. I'm like, nigga, I don't do this, bitch. I can't tell me shit to do. But I know at the end of the day, my boss like, hey, I need you to do this. I'm like, I might cuss you out the entire time I'm doing this, but if I got bills I need to get paid, I'm gonna fucking do it.
And that's the thing. Respect is entitled nowadays, where they think that, oh, yes, on human law, I don't even know you, supposed to respect each other. Yeah. But guess what? In real life, niggas don't care.
Look at the streets. Even the streets used to have rules: no dope on Sundays, no kill kids, don't kill women. The streets don't care no more. They'll pull up at Walmart and shoot you.
Yeah. So I've just also
without even turning off the security lights.
Yeah, I mean, bro,
right? They'll just do it.
West, bro. It's a Wild West.
It's different now.
Bro,
it's the Wild West.
It's different now. But for me, when I look at the
Curse, Cowardly Dog,
that's the Purge.
But for me, like when I look at all of that in the grand scheme of things, it lets me know the reset is happening. But you gotta get rid of the junk.
Yeah.
And when you get rid of the junk, it's ugly, and that's what's happening. Like. It's like we had to sacrifice a generation to find a
lost one
to create a new generation, and it's sad to say it's this generation we're losing. We're gonna lose these kids.
Yeah, we're gonna lose these kids.
A lot of these kids are gonna be. They're gonna like I was like you mentioned the Dwayne Wade kid. I don't really want to talk about people's kids because that's not my thing. But like, I was reading something about the parents that are giving these kids those puberty blockers. Apparently, they're saying that these kids that go through these blockers at an early age, they cannot experience orgasms. Because they don't have enough testosterone. When you do the different switch, like their body's not developed. That's all what it is.
You see what I'm saying? That would be my main problem with stuff like that. And like once I'd say at least wait till you're like 21 because
that's my thing too.
Majority of the times you're not fully grown.
Your brain's not developed until you're 25.
Yeah, and that's my thing too. Because for me, like when I look at, I remember seeing these kids when I was a kid, so I know this is a real thing. Like a little boy feels like he's a girl.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
We
had one in high school.
Yeah, we grew up with these niggas.
Yeah, we had one in high school. Like he had to get suspended because he was going to the girls' bathroom. Yeah. But he felt safer going to the girls' bathroom. But that was 2010, so he wasn't the same. You know.
You remember they ripped his wig off and went to the news and did all that shit.
All that.
Like, yo, for what?
So,
the nigga's just literally coming to class and minding his business.
Yeah.
He never bothered anybody.
Yeah. And I understood at that age, like, okay, he feels like he's a girl.
That's not my place to say nothing.
That's fine.
I can't tell you how to.
I feel like I'm supposed to be rich.
Yeah.
You know, I understood that. So the hatred that comes with all of that and all that, it's kind of crazy to me because I'm like, yo, we were like, we know this thing. Like this thing's been around. So let's not act like it's brand new.
You know, bro.
You know,
it's like,
and that's why I get mad at I get mad at because the way they're trying to put it on people now, it's like I think people are aware. I just think
we know. Like it's not.
I don't know, man. It's just new. Like once you start monetizing things and you start creating cult-like following shit.
Yes.
It's like that's when shit gets weird. Yeah. That's when shit gets weird because it's like okay, like I understand, but like one thing I will say about that community in general, they know how to stick to whatever the fuck is happening.
I don't think they do.
No, but think about it.
Because they're beefing now.
No, but they beef.
The G's are beefing with the T's. They got real beef now.
We'll talk about that later.
I don't want to even get into it.
I don't want to get into it right here.
Saying,
but you know what I'm saying though. But like if shit needs to get done, they will all rally 100%. Meanwhile, us,
and you know why?
Meanwhile, black people, we looking at each other like, oh, I think this, or I think that. By the time the issue's already set in stone, and it's like, okay, now nothing can be done. Them, they writing letters, hiring lawyers.
You know why? Because with them, that what brings them together is not race. It's what they love.
It's a community, yeah.
So it's like we all are united in that front because it doesn't matter if I'm black, white, orange, Hispanic.
Right.
We all share that feeling.
It's more than just one group of people.
When it comes to the black race, first of all,
black people are so divided on everything, every fucking thing.
Since the beginning of time,
you think so?
Yes.
It's been in the book, bro.
But no, but it was.
You talking about because we had tribes and stuff?
Willie Lynch. It was his design, and 400 fucking years later, it's still fucking working to this day.
You see, this is my thing, though.
400 years
when I
later.
hear things like that, I understand that it's true.
I'm not saying it's an everybody thing, though.
I'm not even trying to go there. I'm saying that it's not a good excuse.
It's not. It's not. Like because
it's not a good
we've
excuse.
had all these years.
I'm not giving Willie Lynch that much power. I'm sorry.
I feel like
he don't get that much clout from me.
I feel like
if he was the only one,
we have a lot of carrot in the box stick traps we have for society against black people. I feel like the higher ups, whatever they want to see, all right, we had these traps set up. Are they gonna fall for it? If so, damn, cause more racial division. X, Y, and Z, you know? Yeah. So the Willie Lynch thing, he had a whole speech talking about, hey, look, guys, I'm going city. He had a whole tour, like a rapper type of tour. He had a full tour, Went to colleges, places, said, hey, look, if you want the black people to listen to you more, do X, Y, and Z and watch them fight each other. By the time they realized what's happening, you got dominion over them.
He went around, taught the entire country how to do it.
Carrot barking the stick trap.
I respect that.
And, you feel me? But that's just one person, though. That's just
multiple,
one person.
Imagine
an entire country doing that. For 400 years.
My thing is, this is why I don't want to say these things, because if we keep saying these things, we're going to still be in this trap. That's why we're still in these traps, because we're not taking accountability. We're blaming Willie Lynch. Why you let Willie Lynch convince you, my nigga?
Well, we can't go back.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Why you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Like, now we can't have that excuse.
No, I see what
Back
you're saying.
then, the last 400 years, sure. The last 50, we can't have that excuse.
See, that would be true if everything that they didn't do after the civil rights movement, everything that they put in place after that, if that wasn't a thing, I would totally agree with you.
But you know what?
We talking about the red line. We talking about the red lines in the neighborhoods. We talking about gentrification. We talking about
the economic.
All of that was built off that though.
For sure.
You feel me? That's the only reason why I even bring, because he was the real birth of the how can I put it?
One of
the society control idea that he had. Like he perfected it, and it's still trickled down because they taught it through that many generations. Okay, make sure these niggas don't get this. Make sure, and they made sure. Okay,
hide this information away.
These niggas own the banks. These niggas own this. Like they can call. Okay, my son just killed 4 people in a drunk driving accident. I'm going to call my friend who's a judge, gonna get him off, and he's never gonna have a record.
Gonna get those passes.
And they've been doing that for centuries. And if you do that for centuries, at the same time, you got us who can never keep our fucking dollars in our community because we can't even get enough licenses to open a fucking business. Then it's like, okay, if you had a 400-year head start.
But this is my thing, though. But the thing is, we've seen black people that open a license. Few. So my thing is now we can't sit here and say we can't do it.
It's possible, but it's possible. It's very possible. Yeah. But it's extremely difficult.
You gotta be, like you said,
that's fine.
Extreme, like
that's fine.
One of my favorite quotes all time, and I reiterate this to little kids whenever like little black kids going through some shit. I'm like, listen, you have to work twice as hard to get what half of they have. Yeah. And once you get there, once you get your foot in the door, you have to show out. Regardless, you have to, because at the end of the day, you're still a black kid. It does not matter how it don't matter how rich, how successful you are. At the end of the day, if that white police officer don't know you, you are still a nigga. Yeah. At the end of the day, you are still a nigga.
If he does know you, you're still a nigga.
You're still a nigga. You know?
But
what crazy man say you just a nigga in the bin?
Let's keep it a buck though. This is why I'm 100% with that mindset. What's up? You from Nigeria? Yeah. You got Jamaican descent.
Jamaican.
I'm Haitian. None of our parents make that as an excuse, and they figured it out. And they didn't come. They don't speak the language. They came here. Okay. So I can't see. We can't sit here and use these as an excuse.
Let's get into it
anymore.
Let's get it anymore. Hold on. Let's get into it
anymore. We can't. We cannot use that as an excuse.
I got time.
Okay. We have to acknowledge it. We have to understand. We have to. I'm gonna tell you the thing you just said. What you just said. My dad told me the same thing. You have to work twice as hard. Your A is their C. That's what my dad always said, so I can have good grades. But you know what my dad said too? That's the tax you're gonna have to pay. Yep. Because if you go back home, it's even worse.
Until you get your bigger bag to make a different change over there.
See, but that's what. But my dad always said. He said that's the tax you're gonna have to pay. So as immigrants, we understand that's the tax we're gonna have to pay.
Right. But
if you grew up in America and you understood there was a time your great granddad was a slave, then you had to take the white man's last name. Mm-hmm. Y'all figured out a way to become free. Y'all figure out a way to not only be free, but to get to the point where y'all can actually get a job and get paid. Now, it may not be good money. So y'all been progressing up. If you black people have been a stock since slavery, the stock's only been going up. Bullish. It hasn't been going. Obama was probably the best year. Like that's probably the peak stock market for black people. So we can't see here now. It's like women now complaining about like feminism. Like, well, women are more free now than ever before. We can't sit here and act like y'all not.
See, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So I got
but there's always room for more.
There's more room for improvement, and we always got to improve. But the conversation, before you go, the conversation is still like we're stuck there. We're not stuck there anymore. We're not stuck at a time where women are not free. We're not stuck at a time where black people are not free. Now we're stuck at a time where how do we get better? How do we improve? Okay, and we're not having those conversations. The only conversations we're having, well, the white people did that to us back then, so we fucked up.
But I got a couple points.
Go ahead.
I have a couple. I'm gonna go to the immigrants last, because that's the one I remember first. But as far as matter of fact, fuck that. All right. So as far as being an immigrant, being a first generation immigrant, I understand that being, people come over here to have a better life. That's true, 100%. But by the time you get over here, unless you were our age, by the time you get over here, unless you were born here or you were just raised here, you already had your footing planted, your foundation built in that other country. And chances are that fucking education system is way better than America's. So by the time you got over here, you already had the license or the certifications or the education to get out. And once you got here, you got a fucking job. It wasn't, okay, you were born here. From the minute that you were born here, you've been getting stepped on. And your parents have been getting stepped on. They live paycheck to paycheck every day.
Yeah. But what are you saying?
The best that they can do is just pay their bills. They can't, you know what I'm saying? But as an immigrant parent, coming over here, you're coming over here for a better life. You've already established your life. You moved here with money, chances. Even if it's not a
Usually
lot.
you don't. The
even
money
if,
you
even
had
if
to-
it's not a lot, you had
to
enough to
get
get
the
over here though.
papers.
You had enough to get
And
over
then
here.
you're back to $0.
But you
And
still
now you're
have
back
it.
to
But you still
$0.
have an education. Imagine if you're born here.
But this is my
Your
thing.
education is shitty because America's education is shitty. It does not matter what, unless you go to a private school, your education is shitty. Like that's that.
But same thing
you're,
back home,
you're,
too.
You're,
If
but
we-
it's
like, we
better
don't have
than
public schools.
America though.
But
I will say with
but
my
it's better
parents
than
though,
America,
they both.
though.
My mom was an eye doctor. My dad was an accountant. All their degrees were stripped away when it got to America.
Same here.
They didn't take accreditation for that because they said, "Hey, you went to school, but
It was
American
in Nigeria.
standards,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not India. It's,
So-
not,
so
it's
you-
not Great Britain.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell
know?
you're right. Like the education system. Like I went to school, like elementary school. I moved to the States when I was in sixth grade, middle school. So you're right about the education
You
system.
feel me? Like, it's,
But at the same time, I was like a little bit privileged Asian kid because I was able to go to school, private school in Haiti.
Right.
You're right.
'Cause
And you're right.
it's
The
just like-
best
it's just-
of the best immigrant is the one that get a chance to come.
You
come
feel
back.
me? It's not.
So it's not like a low
It's
level
not like you
person in
just
Nigeria.
a random
Haiti.
person can
yeah,
just
it's
come
the
over
best
here.
of the best that gets the
The
chance.
richest
feel
of
me?
the poorest.
You feel
Yeah,
me? But
yeah.
you still had enough to make it
But
over
at
here,
this-
and you at least had enough grind to make
Work
it in
ethic,
a
correct.
through a
Yeah.
shitty situation
Correct.
to make it over here. You're
But the-
already better than the people who only know a shitty situation.
But the thing is, when you
Because
get
if you're leaving a shitty situation to know so you can go to a better one, if you're born in a shitty situation and everybody else's relief is your shitty situation, what the fuck are you gonna
But
do?
catch this though, you gotta remember who you are. If you're an immigrant, you know where you're from. You've seen your hometown.
You have a people.
You've seen your family.
You have a
tree.
people. You have a
s-
country
yes.
that backs you. In America, you don't have that.
And not even the country that backs you, but you've seen enough of your culture. So when you come here, you have a good apple to oranges mindset off
Right.
the rip.
Right,
Even if I
right.
see a black person, I'm just
But
comparing
now I
off
feel like
culture sakes.
we're acting like I know like a lot of black people have that lost identity,
Yeah.
but I think they created an identity in themselves though. I think like they created a culture with themselves regardless of
Yes,
what happened.
but that
So-
culture is built off of trauma bonding. We're
Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
each other of what the hardships.
Yep.
So
we've
you
been
think
through.
because of that, that's why it's always gonna be a crutch? Because my thing is,
until they heal from it, yes. Until we all heal from it together.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
There's
I'm gonna
no
be honest
healing
with
from
you.
that,
Yes,
though.
there is.
There will never be until the day, and this is it's a little bit of a broad statement, but until the day that Black Americans have an actual body, actual political body backing them, because everybody else in this country has a body that backs them.
Yeah.
If you're Asian, you have an entire country. Like when the Asian people got murdered, literally up the street from here, which was in Ackworth and Woodstock.
Yeah.
No, he started in Woodstock.
Oh, then
He started up here and then drove down to Buckhead.
That's wild.
You feel me? They had a whole community within 2 weeks. Their countries all band together and was like, "Hey, we need a fucking law."
no, you're
We,
right.
as Black Americans, have been asking for centuries.
Again, but this
There's
is
nobody to represent us.
But you
Yeah.
just said the
There's
answer right though.
nobody.
Because they know where they're from. They know their
Exactly.
their
I
But,
understand.
but where are Black Americans from? America. You've been
Yeah,
here for
yeah.
400 years. There's
But-
there's
Exactly,
nowhere
though.
else for you to go.
yeah,
Yes,
you know, the
there's
Black
nowhere
Americans are
else for
from
you to
here.
go.
That's their country. America.
There's
They
nowhere
built
else
this
for you
country.
to go.
Yeah.
They built this country.
You
This
feel
is
me?
their
Like
country.
there's
But
no country to go back to.
This is what I'm
your
trying to.
country.
This is what I'm trying to say. To get to the point where we can have a political system to back us, we have to understand we got the worst cards. It's like playing
We have,
spades,
absolutely.
and you got no spades.
Yep.
But you
Yeah,
got to
we
find a
do.
way to get
Yep,
some
you
bucks.
got the
You
worst.
got, are you gonna
cards at the end of
complain
the
to
day.
your partner, and be like, "Yo, bro, the dealer didn't deal it right, so I didn't get no spades"?
The
Or are you
cards are
gonna
the cards.
figure out a way to finesse and make that 10
Right.
eat?
Right.
And that's what we're gonna have to do. Like, we got the bad cards, we got the bad shuffle.
I ain't gonna
as
hold
black
you though.
people.
I ain't gonna hold you.
It sucks. We can
It
cry
does.
about it. It is what it is. Because even if we go back to our home countries, what they call it, Nigeria,
If you can.
Ghana, South Africa, any black country, we're fucked. Look at the Queen just died. The King Richard just took over Bahamas. Like, it don't matter. Like, we can go anywhere. It's not ours. Like, because, you know,
a Commonwealth.
It's a Commonwealth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Bahamas
he's
is
not.
still a
He's
Commonwealth.
technically
That's right.
like the king of Bahamas.
That's right.
You know,
any other
I
island.
fucking forgot.
yeah, you know what I'm
Bahamas
saying?
is still
So we
Commonwealth.
can't, like, even if we go back to our countries, even if all black people would be like Marcus Garvey, we going back to Africa. It don't matter. So
It don't matter.
we got the short end of the stick.
yes.
It is what it is. It
Correct.
sucks. We can cry about it. But we gotta understand.
At the end of the
we
day,
gotta get
though,
some books, and we gotta figure out a way
at the end
to
of the
make
day,
tens work.
and
And,
like
we've
said,
seen people get books. Obama's an example.
At the end
Any
of the day.
black person that figured out a way to make a decent living
but
is an example.
Obama,
I'm not even saying Obama.
But Obama had to be the most exceptional presidential candidate
So
that
let's
we.
be exceptional.
No.
Let's be
No, think
exceptional.
about it. The most
Yeah, it's a high bar, though.
exceptional.
It's a
So
high
let's
bar.
be
The
exceptional.
most exceptional presidential candidate in decades.
So let's be exceptional.
And he only had a shot because he was
So let's.
that great.
You said it. You said it.
That was it.
You said
But
we
as
have
a-
to work
but
2 times
as a-
harder.
that's
So
true.
let's work 2 times harder.
That's true. I did
Hey.
say that.
So let's work 2 times
Once
harder.
again, you're trying to have that bias, the immigrant bias. We are naturally resonate with that vibe. Oh,
Yeah,
this is the
okay,
bar.
Okay,
All right, let's go
let's
get
work
it.
2 times
You
harder.
know?
Right.
And that's the thing we're not doing, because the reason why we're not working 2 times harder, we don't want to face the consequence that we got the short end of the stick. We just want to be like, yo, it's like playing spades. You didn't shuffle it right. Yo, that's the part.
You're still in the game though. You know
gotta
what I'm
play
saying?
the game.
No, not just play, but you're still in it.
Yeah,
You change
yeah.
your mentality. Yo, look, you can still win even with a shorthanded deck. No matter what your background is, you can still come out of that shit. Know when to fold, know when to deal your cards, know when to fucking call your bluff, bro.
And then when
Simple.
you
Repeat.
and when you look at things in a
Nope.
100-year cycle,
Exactly.
we've been improving.
Yeah, of course.
You
we've
called it
been
earlier,
improving.
bro. We're bullish,
Of
bro.
course-
We built
of course,
the White
of course,
House.
Of course, we've
We
been
built
improving.
streetlights.
We built the entire country.
Yes, all the
Like-
inventions, the video game, Atari nigga.
We
What's
built
a
the,
nigga,
the
bro?
only. I feel like generally the only reason why,
I think-
the main reason why we progressed so much was because it was like there was really no other option.
It's our natural.
That's what I'm saying.
You
You gotta work 2
'cause-
times harder. It
because
is what it is.
It was what after MLK died, they burned the country down for 9 days, and 9 days later, the Civil Rights Act was passed. That's all it took. Niggas marched for years. It took 9 days of burning
yeah.
this.
So-
Economic play. Remember,
You
you
feel
feel
me?
Where it hurts, it's their pockets.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln,
because
freed
at
slaves
the end of the
their
day,
pockets were hurting.
That's
They
how
needed,
killed
like
people.
protests are very beautiful in
Theory.
they're very beautiful in theory, and they're very beautiful in what they symbolize. They don't fucking work.
Until you
They
hit their
don't
pockets.
fucking work unless you riot during that protest. It's not gonna work. Like the French riot for fucking everything. Everything, nigga. The French riot 3 times a year,
Yeah, facts.
and I'm not even playing. Like,
Yeah.
like I remember, like they stormed the parliament. They stormed the prime minister's crib because he changed the law. Like, they don't play about that shit, and they anything that
you know
the
why we
French
can't
get,
have that in
anything the
America?
French want done, they get done because the French government has to work for the people.
Yeah, but the thing about what makes America a unique place is because the people of America are not even Americans.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just.
It just
It's
a leased land.
There is one.
Stuff, right?
There is one group of people in this country two group of people in this country that belong here:
Yeah,
And
American.
Mexicans and Native Americans.
The facts.
And they have
Half of them are dead.
the least land out of anybody.
Yeah.
They have parts of 3 states. You feel me?
OG Mexico was from Cali all the way to Mexico.
All-
At the top.
Well, there's
It
a
was-
state called
it
New
was-
Mexico.
Yeah.
You feel me? It was literally what's the state over from
The whole Louisiana
Washington,
Purchase, bro.
from Utah all the way down, from whatever that all the way down was Mexico. And y'all want them to go back to their country, but you in their country. How the fuck that work?
Because you stole it.
Like, you
Social
feel me?
Darwinism, bro.
Hey
Only
man,
strongest survive. Remember, the cards are being dealt.
at
Yeah,
the
you
end,
gotta
at the
think
end of the
back
day,
then, back then, land was currency.
yeah.
The bonds, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Remember, trying to make railroads and all that stuff.
At the end of the day, bro, it's just
We'll be fine, but like you said, it's all about accountability, bro.
But the thing
Let's-
is,
let's
and that's
stop
the
thinking-
problem with
It's
life.
halfway
we have
accountability.
a victim mindset.
It is.
it's
Stockholm
halfway
syndrome type
accountability though.
Stuff. No, it's
Bro,
100%.
I'm not saying
100%.
they're not.
Like no. And I'm not saying like we don't have a victim mindset. 'Cause we 100% do, 100%. But I'm not. It's like even the ones of us who do try, we do get out there. We realize very, very quickly
But we still do
how
it.
hard it is.
Correct.
So it's way easier to fall back into okay, I'm gonna just get a job
But-
for right now.
but it's
versus-
supposed to be hard.
You feel me? Of course, it's supposed to be
Anything
hard.
great
but if
is
you
hard.
don't have the resources to hold your back up, your back's giving out.
Yeah.
You feel me? You can't do that shit solo dolo. It don't. If you don't have the capital, if you can't even get a loan to keep your business running, then it is what it is. Like you
But
got to
this is
close
the
up
thing.
shop.
This is the thing. Before we get to a point where we can try to get a loan, let's suck it up and work the job.
It may take
and
4
kiss
years.
that ass.
It may take 7 years.
Do what you gotta do.
It may take 2 months.
One thing I always say, it takes money to make money. It don't matter
Like the thing
who
is,
you are, what you are.
We want things instantly because we see it instantly for some people.
And it's
right?
never instant.
It's never instant.
Social media is not instant. That person who's showing you how they made it,
It took
a lot of
years.
time, months.
It
all
took
that
years.
shit, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So for me, like, I just don't want us all of us have this victim mindset. Like social media puts you in a victim mindset because you get retweets, you get reposts.
Everyone stands in their truth, and everyone's
support
validating
you.
their truth. You know?
Yeah, and then you can find your own group of community that say, "Yeah, I go through that too." But bro, like, it's like at the end of the day, if you get in a fight with somebody and you lose the fight, even if that guy was a trained fighter, he's bigger and stronger than you, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, "I gotta get better." You can't just say, "Oh yeah, he beat me up because he's bigger and stronger than me."
But
no, learn how to fight.
And I like
learn how to fight.
I like how you're pointing all these elements. But
Yeah.
the question is all up to us as black people. The individual is like, how much do you care about yourself? How much do you really love yourself? Because that really does reflect on your success metrics. You know.
Yeah, and
like,
a lot of us struggle with that
exactly
because of all the trauma that we go through.
But guess what? Even the black people who made it, who we aspired to be, they had the same test we went through, and they passed their test. They overcame their trauma, overcame their hardships, and they admitted what they did with that to do. But they immediately, when they had an opportunity, if they were smart, they switched up their ways.
The thing is, life is hard. Like life is hard. If you just look at living things in the world, like if we compare our lives to the jungle, we're the zebras, the lions of the white people. Why the hell the zebras always gotta get eaten by the lion? Why they not stronger? Why they not faster so they can get escape? It's just the life that they have to live. Right now, the lions are winning in the jungle. Maybe one day they could evolve somehow to blend in. You know what I'm saying? But like right now, you're a zebra, a lion's around, you might get eaten. It is what it is. That's just the cards that the zebras dealt with. So it's sad to say, we're just like the zebra dealt with that bad hand. Black people have dealt with this bad hand. But guess what, guys? There was a time we had a great hand. Yeah. And they had the bad hand.
But now, like you said, the reset's happening now. So I think we're in a society where are talking about going back full circle. The new kids, yes, they are come off as entitled sometimes, but they have so much potential to do better than we did. Imagine if we were as woke as they were.
So this is the thing with the new kids. I thought a year ago I was with you. I agree. Okay. But I realized they really don't have that potential that we think they do, because of they can't think for themselves. Mm-hmm. We are telling them what to think. Well, like these kids now are really programmed. You know how television is called television program? Other generations were kind of programmed, but these kids now, they're fully programmed day one.
And that's why
at least us, we got programmed at 6, 7 when we first hit school. Yeah. That's when these kids, they too.
Out the womb.
Yeah, they're programmed. So it's like once you're programmed, you're really not about to do nothing. That's why. Because think about it, these kids are about to be subscription. Their economy is going to be all subscription. So if you're in a subscription, I control everything. Yeah. You don't own nothing. So even if you want to revolt, even if you want to get smart with me, I can stop you.
And take away all your access to your
yeah. Game. So I think we the ones that got to do something.
No, for sure. Which is why we.
Not them, because they're screwed. Like we're the ones that gotta be like, because we're still young. Yeah. So we're gonna be like, yo, when we're turned 40 and we're in the position of power in politics, companies, you name it, we gotta right the wrongs.
And I think it's gonna be a multi-step process to do that. Cause I agree with you. I think as us, we gotta do 2 things: get our bag up first. Cause if we're gonna be in America, what talks more for anything else? Not your emotions.
It's not just America, it's the world.
Okay, bet. Global standards. It's not your emotions. It's not what you believe human rights is. It's who has the biggest bag in the room. Yeah. You know? If you don't have the biggest bag in the room, I'm sorry. Look at Black Lives Matter, for example. They had a mysterious funding. All of a sudden, the people who started it bought a mansion with that money, the profits, you know?
So, I mean, I knew Black Lives Matter was capped because they don't let anything that's really there for the sake of black people, what Storm was trying to say about how they always gonna fuck us up, wouldn't be as big as Black Lives Matter. Yeah. They would have shut that down. So the fact that I saw Black Matter thriving, I was like, oh, somebody's scamming off of that. Easily. You know, I knew that from day one.
Granted, they did try with the whole All Lives Matter movement, but it was just kind of like...
The last time a black organization tried something for the sake of black people for real, they all got murked, and that was the Black Panther Party.
And you saw the
and
movie.
Then,
how that
they're
ended.
not letting that happen again. That's the one thing I can agree with you. But guess what? We can still do that without labeling it as we can do it because this is the one thing we have to our advantage now with our time. The white kids now, they're not as bad as their generations. They actually kind of want all this to die down. They're tired of all the. They're kind of tired of like their grandparents' greed. Yeah, they're like, damn.
They like our culture, bro. They want to.
Not only that too, like that guilt is really hitting them.
The guilt's hitting them hard, and at the end of the day, they're getting affected the same way that we are now because they don't have the retirement funds. Like 401k is gonna be fucked.
The average white dude is struggling right now.
You feel me? Like it's a completely different world than they're used to. Like now they're having to get it out the mud like we used to.
It's like
and now
it's not a black or white thing anymore.
And now we've been getting it out the mud forever.
So we're
you
trained.
Feel me? So you're like, all right, nigga, the economy fucked up right now. It is what it is. They're dying.
They're depressed.
They're dying right now. They ain't they loft apartments like.
You heard about the Bed Bath & Beyond dude? The CEO of Bed Bath & Beyond. He just
jumped off the building.
Oh, he jumped off the building.
He did some scamming stuff, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it was like they had caught him up or whatever, and then he jumped out.
So it's like. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the world is heading to a place where it's not black or white anymore. It's class. You got it or you don't.
Hunger Games type.
No, it's really turning into a class situation.
So we can't even fight the black fight no more. We have to fight the class fight because we're gonna need it, all of us.
Hey, you know what though? I will say I only fight for us. If I'm being real,
no, we have to.
No, I only because at the end of the day, if I can't walk in your house and say, "Hey, I'm marrying your daughter," without your entire family calling me a nigger in a different language, I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Because if 90% of the world, as a black American, you go into that household, they're not gonna want you there.
But that happens within our race too, though.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to date someone that's out, you're black, but not your ethnicity. They're still gonna say, "Yo, that's in our culture."
We might not give him a word.
They will.
We'll make jokes.
Yeah,
they'll make jokes, but they'll still be accepted, even if they'll be allowed. Into
they'll
the
be
family.
much more accepted.
They'll be allowed into the family, but will we straight up say, "Okay, if you marry here, you're getting disowned"?
Yes, we've seen that a lot of times.
Where?
Wow,
we've seen it, but it's more on their side.
How many times have you seen that happen from a black family say that?
So if you, for example, in our culture, in Nigerian, if your parents are still clinging on to the cultural identity of being Nigerian AF for your whole bloodline, they will give you hella resistance on some mental peer pressure stuff to make you think like, yo, you may find a good shawty who's from America or whatever island. They're gonna make you seem like you're even crazy to even think of that. They'll just tell you straight up, yo, look, if you marry this person, I will not pull up to your wedding. That's how much peer pressure the family is.
Okay,
but that's dying out in that.
I can understand.
Hopefully,
I can understand.
I think it
but
is.
like,
hopefully, I hope
but that's
because
but that's nowhere near as prominent as literally just going to a different country and having every citizen stare at you as you walk through the streets.
Of course,
that's not. It's a complete.
Which country are you talking about? Like Japan?
Any Asian country.
Well, it's
any
not their
Asian
fault.
country.
I lived in China. It's not.
I've been in Japan. They don't
it's
see
not
us.
Even their fault.
They don't see us. Yeah. I get that.
Not only that they don't see us,
but if you still go, and also their only portrayal of us is
that program. That's what I'm saying.
The only portrayal of them is the negative shit that white people put out. So like I give you a little bit of leeway, but you also now you have the internet, so your entire family is still saying
some of these Asian countries don't let them get on the
internet.
That's very true. That's very.
That's
true.
why I can't even look. I can't even blame
China specific.
China
specific.
Their Google's way different than ours.
Even like
they don't have Google.
Even
they have their own.
Even like I did like a layover in Japan. You can't even hug a girl in Japan.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So like we can. I'm not even gonna take their perspective. Like y'all get dudes will start jacking off in the middle of the train in Japan because they're sexually deprived over there.
No, they are.
Because the women don't want them because they still have old ideas, but women are modernized now.
Yeah.
So the women are not giving them no pussy.
That's why specifically Japan, which is
Japan is a different place.
Which is weird that we're talking about this because I was looking this shit up earlier. But like Japan's birth rate has been declining for years.
Any civilized nation's birth rate has been declining.
No, but it's Japan to the point where they're literally like
they got more diapers than they got diapers for old people than kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
Like babies are not being born at all, my nigga. Like they're struggling for kids.
But any civilized nation, America,
who did at the door?
All the European nations, birth decline. That's when I first met you, I was like, yo, Africa's the future because all the youth is coming from there. So eventually there's going to be a time in a 100-year cycle, America's going to have to outsource labor from there.
It's crazy, bro. For example, for my country, right? We just became a country free in 1963.
Yeah.
You know, mind you, how old is America? Almost
17 something.
Exactly.
1776.
So look at the huge head start y'all got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Farrakhan had that speech with Mike Wallace when he was saying said that. Yeah. I mean that's another, and I'm glad you said that because that's what America's going through too, because they were born in they were developed in the 1700s, but when you look at Europe went through what America is going through now.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
1400s.
You know what I'm saying? This identity crisis.
Yeah.
The identity crisis. The that's why Europe got now more of a socialism aspect because they went through a stage where the capitalism wasn't the best because daycare costs. Everything costs. So
plague.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to have a socialism mindset. America's still not there because it's still younger than Europe. But eventually you can see where America's heading with the cost of living. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I lived in China. China's way older than all these countries. And they're like, older. It is what it is.
Way older.
You know, I remember my first culture shock in China was they didn't give a fuck about animals.
Swear.
Like animal rights is not a thing over there.
Oh no, them niggas are dying.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the thing is about China, you can ask them questions. The people will tell you straight up. I remember I asked this guy, I was like, yo, y'all don't really care about animals like that. And I was telling him about America, I was telling him about Michael Vick, and then he laughed and he said, first of all, there's 1 billion of us. And so you think we're gonna care about the animals?
Yeah, that.
Like when he just said that, he's like, "There's 1 billion of us."
Like literally 1 billion.
You think we're gonna care about the animals? When he said that, and I'm like, "Oh, America's only at 300 mil."
Yeah.
Wait until they hit 700 mil. These animal rights things are done.
Hey, by the time we hit 700 mil, this planet's done.
You know what I'm saying?
By the time we get to this,
so when they say something as simple as that, it makes you. Think
it's a whole different perspective.
It makes you think about that's why they don't have quote unquote freedom of political parties because look at us with 350 million people we can get along with Republican, Democrat. Imagine when we had a Billy. No, one government only, bro. And it's not fair. It's not right.
Does India only have one government too?
They controlled.
Are they?
It's similar to the UK.
It's similar to the UK.
Are they a monarchy still?
I think they have a parliament.
Okay.
But they're controlled.
Okay,
they're not in there. They don't control India.
Yeah.
It's like UK's influence still there.
It's completely because the level of control that China has versus the level of control.
So why do you think why do you think now our country's trying to control everything we do now? Because our population is climbing up.
All right, so it's at the same time our population is rising, but
it's not being
they're not white. That's what the major issue is right now. They trying to say.
But it doesn't matter when you start having a bunch of people, you got to start controlling things.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you doing a 2,000 venue versus a arena, the security changes. The security changes.
That's fact.
So it's the same concept with a country's population. Like when you have 100 million American, you can sell this idea of a democracy. But when you start getting 300 million up,
and technology now, you have TikTok. Now you're in a country.
I got control all y'all.
All right, but one thing I will say though,
way woke.
But one thing I will say though that especially about America's system specifically, the attachment to the commandments and the attachment to the church are the two main issues that I have. Because one, the Vatican is a fucking country. The church. The
Vatican is a business. They own the most real estate in the world.
They're literally a country though, and they do own the most real estate in the world.
Yeah, McDonald's number 4. Though.
Yeah, but the church has the most real estate on the earth,
for sure,
including in America.
And they don't pay taxes.
Every single church that you've ever seen is owned or legally registered. That land is owned by Vatican City.
Remember the Pope?
All
the assets.
The Pope,
September 30th.
exactly. The Pope, he's the king. You have. He's
the figurehead. No, I don't know if he's the king.
But they have their own currency.
Yeah.
Literally, the Vatican City is its own country. So why are half of our laws tailored to the Vatican City?
Because
that's one issue.
Nation.
That's one issue I have. Of course.
We're the richest nation. That's
of course. We owe them. They own us, technically. Yeah. If we're being honest. But that, and then what was the other point I had?
You're on fire, bro.
What was the first
He
part?
was talking about
I had 2 points. It was the Vatican City and the what was
America, like America's foundation. You was talking about America's
You were
foundation.
still talking your first point, to be honest.
And then
really
you
Yeah.
said you don't like how the church and is still tied to their laws and stuff.
Yeah, it was the church and it was something else.
The racism.
No, but my other I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. But I guess another one thing, like it's like the only two things that really govern American laws are corporations and the church. That's it.
I think it's just corporations. The church to me.
No, but the church mainly because of like anything regarding women's rights or anything regarding personal rights. If I'm being
Human
honest,
rights.
so that would tailor into like the LGBT community, women's rights, like how people are, like all of those laws that have been passed recently, all tailored to the church. Everything else is tailored to the corporation. It's like you telling us, okay, y'all gonna make every car electric by what 2030, whatever. But it's 10 companies that are responsible for 90% of the pollution in the world.
But that's what
It's 10 companies. And you telling us, okay, we need to reduce our carbon footprint. Every human on Earth is responsible for 2% of that.
But again,
2% of the global population, including cars and all the shit that we drive every day.
It's always
That's
been
2%. So it's like, okay, why are we so focused on us if
It's always been like
y'all
that.
killing the planet? Like,
Distraction.
It's
focus.
always been like that.
Like,
The world power is controlled. Like,
Yeah.
you know how we have school the way we have school from
You got-
like 9 to 5? It's because at the end of the day, the factory system at
yeah,
the time
was 9 to 5.
run shit. So they had to.
The entire
structure.
educational system was built to teach farmers extra education. Like it wasn't okay, we're gonna raise a generation of smart people.
Doctors,
It was
engineers.
literally to teach farmers how to read. That was it. Because at the time when schools were introduced in America, we were an agricultural country still. So everybody was
And we had to
farming.
get ready for
everybody
the
was-
Industrial Revolution.
Exactly. So people needed to learn how to read and write. That was
We
it.
were really a stupid country, bro. Like, we were.
Word.
Bro, yeah, we thought black
Word.
people were half of
Nigga,
it.
word.
We still are.
Nigga, word.
We still are.
Look at the planet it set out, yo.
Where
our people are.
Hold on,
stupid as fuck.
I'm gonna look it up.
Let's have a game plan, right? Let's
We
teach
still
let's
are.
teach people how to read, so when we finesse them,
So check this
they
out.
understand how they're being finessed.
America is a marketing firm. This is what America did.
Agency.
They came in, they stole the land, they killed people, they had slavery for a good 500 years, built on free labor. They got the leg up because they had the free labor. But they did a lot of crime so that's why those stupid people are there. So what happened is they said we can actually educate them. And then we educated them, and then the Industrial Revolution peaked up to the point you can get a company like Ford to be alive,
27th in the world.
Ford to be alive, so on and so forth,
The
right?
railroads started popping
Railroads started popping. So now
Airplanes
we
started
invested
going.
in education to the point by the 50s and the 60s, we created subdivisions for y'all. We giving you loans, the mortgage industry,
neighborhoods.
so on and so forth.
Yup. That's
So
when-
we
that's-
made. There was a
when
time.
suburbs were made.
There
yup.
was a time America cared about Americans. But what happened is, just like they did with they had the 500 years started making money off the backs of the slaves. What they did is those corporations started making a lot of money because they got smart people working for them. So Ford now made so much money, they can buy America.
and they kept it in house
You know what I'm saying?
with the resources.
You know what I'm saying? So these corporations started making money now, and now these corporations been around for 100 years now. So now they got the culture. They shape the
and
culture.
gold money.
You know what I'm saying? They shape
what
the
happened.
culture.
Yep,
So when you
1995.
understand that aspect of like how long these people been planning these things, so now what they're doing is they're dumbing us down now, because they can't have us smart anymore. Because if we keep getting smart, if they put that same investment like they did back then, we're gonna take over. We
not
won't even need government.
It's not
We'll
even.
be
It's
able
not
to
even
be-
about. It's not even about takeover. It's not about none of that. It's about the people, the generation who built all their millions of dollars, all the $billion corporations. If you educate the next couple generations past them,
It's over.
their corporations are gone.
Yeah,
Better
And
corporations taking their
for
place.
better corporations, for better
A better world.
All of their
They don't
shit-
want a better
All
world.
of their shit is gone. They spent their entire life building a system for them to benefit off of until the day that they off this earth. That system is never gonna come away.
Yeah.
That plain and simple. Since 1995 is when the lobbying law was passed, and ever since 1995,
that's when they stopped caring.
That's
Clinton.
when shit went downhill.
Papa Bush. That's why they say, weapons of mass destruction.
That's when shit went downhill. It was okay. Now it's big corporations versus the American people. That's really all of that. Ever since then, that's really all it's been.
I love this conversation.
I like how you said 1995, but for me,
I had to look it up because I remember it.
But for me, I go Reagan. Because Reagan was the first one that gave rich people a major tax cut.
You're right.
So I start with Reagan because after Reagan, America did not care about the American people.
At all. No.
It doesn't matter about black, white. They didn't care about the American people. Why you say that?
Eisenhower, I might give
maybe
you Eisenhower, but he wasn't.
But they still care about white people at that time. Still.
No, but I think because what your statement was about caring about the overall country. When you introduce the military-industrial complex, you're officially saying that we are taking the majority of the funds to become the king of Westeros, like Game of Thrones type energy.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
You see, but in
considering people
in that essence,
us, like, yo,
in that essence, though,
you know?
Hey, but every game that every game or war, I guess I'll call it. Every game that we have had has been an away game. That's the one thing I will say about America.
So that's what I'm saying.
You niggas have waged war on the world by now. Literally, almost every country y'all have sent troops in there.
But the reason
somehow
why
every game's an away game.
The reason why every game is always an away game because America got a perfect location. We can always see when you're coming.
That's true.
The other countries, they can't see. Like that's this Ukraine thing. The problem with this Ukraine,
they
thing
right next to you.
They're landlocked. Us, we'll know when you're coming. So we'll boom. And then the cool thing is, we got stations everywhere. So before you even get to us, by the time you pass in Cuba, we got you.
Yeah, once you hit first, you're gonna hit that embassy first.
Yeah, by the time
you hit that embassy first, just so they don't know what's coming, and then it's like, all right, some shit done happened.
But America we can say Eisenhower, we can even say Kennedy because Kennedy was probably the last president that really tried to help Americans.
Yeah, and they
murked them. No, they murked them. When you go listen to Kennedy talk, his speeches, if you just go in a wormhole and just listen to Kennedy's speeches, homie was keeping it 100. He was like, "Yo,
terrified of this nigga, bro.
Secret society don't want us to live." They were like, he was keeping it 100.
They were terrified.
He was like, "They want you to stay poor. They're not letting me do nothing."
They were terrified.
Bomb Cuba when I tell you no.
Yeah, that's why they murked them the way they murked them.
Yeah, they like Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm like, you might have been a good shot, nigga, but you ain't.
And they murked Lee too.
But you ain't 2 shots and 1 bullet good, nigga. They was getting that nigga out of here. They was getting that nigga out of here. Y'all had 2 snipers shoot this nigga at the same time, and y'all blamed it on one of them. And then y'all murked that nigga.
They ain't do jail time. Murked.
Y'all murked this nigga.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is you gotta.
Long dead. Fuck him.
You gotta look at American history. Since when did they Google? When did they started? When did the what's that bank?
Which one? Wells Fargo?
No, the
Bank of America.
No, not a chain. It's the bank where we back everything from.
Treasury.
The National Treasury?
Yeah, because it's private fund.
Yeah.
When did that become? Because this is when the Rockefeller took over. It's like the 1800s.
Titanic era. When the Titanic sank.
Federal Reserve. When did the Federal Reserve became a thing?
Yep. December 23rd, 1913.
Yep. Titanic.
That's when shit changed.
No. Yep.
We want to say that's when shit changed.
And where's the Federal Reserve at?
Shit. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's Hong Kong.
No, they're everywhere.
New York.
The main one's in New York, but they're everywhere. There's a Federal Reserve Bank everywhere.
Yeah, so own incorporated modification allow for a regional Federal Reserve system operating under
But it's not not a government company. It's not a government entity. It's a private entity. Now, who owns this private entity?
That's a good fucking question. That's a good question.
They like to just blame the Rockefellers for everything. They're part of it.
Of course.
But it's not just them.
Let's see. The Federal Reserve System is not owned by anyone.
Yeah, that's how you know you got the sauce.
But the Federal Reserve was created in 1913 by the Federal Reserve Act.
Mafia.
Let's see.
Yeah, and then
families holding the structure together
of the whole world, not just America. The Federal Reserve. Any country that don't got their support, they get murked. Yep. Gaddafi, murk.
Yep.
Anybody that tried him got murdered.
Gold.
Not like died in by poison. No, we kill you on sight.
That's a fact.
Even Abe Lincoln.
That's a fact.
Murdered.
That's a fact. If you fuck with their pockets, you out of there. That's it.
Anybody that fuck with that tried him.
That's it. You out of there.
Murdered. Like, Gaddafi, Saddam, you name it. Murdered. There's a bunch of like African.
Them too, that's the funny part.
Yeah.
They groomed them up, and then all right, you got too much power.
Murdered.
Out of here. So yeah, man. So we're seeing. Okay.
But this is what's happening though. That family, they're reproducing, right? Now these kids that they have now,
who's on the board?
They're not like their dads and grandpas.
I hope so.
They're not. That's why they're going crazy. That's why they're trying to go berserk with all these laws, because they know that the baton that they're supposed to pass to the young generation.
They got the heart for it.
They don't got that heart. They don't have that evil in their blood. They've been living in conveniency for the last 100 years. So they're now at a point where they're like, yeah, we don't even have to do all that to black people no more. Like, I think we can leave these niggas alone. Like,
yeah. That's really what the kids are saying. We can really leave these niggas alone. We can't.
Good joke, John.
We can't hit him with the,
so they seen that.
I can't call him a nigger and not get beat up. So we can probably stop this now.
So they seen that, and then they're like, oh shit. They're even having sex with them, and they're like reproduce. Like our grandson is black now, so it's like, oh, they can't have abortions. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why they're going berserk, bro, because they realize they're losing.
You remember Shorty said like at the Trump rally, she was like, it was a victory for white life or some shit that.
Yeah.
I was like, bitch.
They
I
know.
was like, bitch, what the fuck? And then somebody else, and then another, I forgot who the fuck said it. Somebody was like, one of the white people were like, yo, she said the quiet part out loud. We was all like, the quiet part?
Because if you look at other countries,
whole idea, and y'all surprised.
If you look at Canada, Europe, they give women maternity leave, help with daycare.
I think maternity leave in Canada is like
healthcare is
6
better.
months or some shit.
All of that, right? But these countries can do that because majority of their people are still white. The reason why America don't want to do that is because you asking black women now to have black babies when you start taking care.
And now we can have multiple babies.
You're asking the Latinos to have babies. They don't want that, so they gotta do it another way. They have
make sure that black women die in childbirth more than anybody else. I think it's 4 times than anybody else. It's like okay.
And beat the last era when we did have families procreating multiple 4 or 5 kids, 50s, 60s, right?
Yeah.
What happened in the Vietnam War? Introducing to sexual liberty rights. You know, women's rights.
Yeah. And I want that to happen. I want those things to happen.
Look at result. We have lost the nuclear family aspect. So to go full circle, talking about how can these lost kids be found again is we have to sit them down, speak their language. They like flashy things, right? So we gotta get our bag up. Once they go to bag up, they respect us, right? And the next step is for them or willing to listen to hear you out.
Willing to hear you out. I don't know if respect is the right word.
Out, what this whole conversation, this whole podcast about is educating them. Realize, yo, look, this is how you remember who you are. This is the timeline. Fuck what TikTok's showing you a little bit responsibly. Fuck what your school's teaching you. This is passed down knowledge or history that has to be continued.
The real life knowledge.
Like you said, the nuclear family, whether it's your mom and your dad, single mom, single dad, 2 gay parents, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The problem is parents are not raising their kids
with love.
No.
Giving
them
the
not
iPad.
even with love. They're not raising their kids.
They just not. They love them.
They're not raising their kids.
They're not spending.
No, if they're very tailored to their emotional needs whenever they're looking at them. But aside from that, the actual development of their kids, they have no fucking clue.
I spent time with.
They have no clue.
I spent time.
I've dated bitches with kids. They have no clue.
Of course.
They have no idea.
Could they haven't seen it?
They don't know.
It
don't matter how much. It don't matter how many siblings you have, how many kids. Like they just don't know.
They're not raising kids,
and it's not.
And that's why you can get Andrew Tate to influence your kid. Because if you keep it in a buck, if you listen to Andrew Tate and you look at your dad, you're not gonna listen to Andrew Tate. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not giving Andrew Tate that much credit. The dude is not that dope to get all these kids influenced by
any decent any decent male role model in your life ever. You look at Andrew Tate and be like,
oh, I see what he's doing.
I'll be like, okay, this nigga's a clown.
Yeah,
let me go on about my fucking day.
Like when I first heard,
keep scrolling.
When I first saw him, I laughed. I'm like, oh man, people are gonna fall for that. I was laughing.
No, the first, because I remember on TikTok, it was a specific fucking day. I think it was like sometime in July. I had seen this nigga once, and then suddenly he never came off my timeline.
Yep.
I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And then I'm like, okay.
But I laugh.
Every time I see this nigga, I'm like, yo, is this nigga being for real? Or is
could
he
tell
playing
he
a
was
character?
bullshitting.
Like, I'm like, because there's no way you can look at this person and think, all right, this nigga's dead ass.
You know why I know you was BSing? Because when you look, if you go and really look at all the content, there's a lot of the content, he's saying some regular stuff that makes perfect
Regular
sense.
shit.
That actually is the right approach.
And everything that's pushed is just
the
like,
negative stuff. And then it goes to
human
show you
cockfight shit.
it's the
I'm
cap.
like-
It's like they're only going to show you the cap.
The clickbaits.
It's
The
like,
clickbait
and granted, it's the only thing that's gonna get views on these platforms. But I'm like, bruh, I don't care about what this nigga's talking about. Like, there's
And
never,
they know that.
there's never a point where this nigga opened his mouth where I'm like, okay, he said something useful. Like, I'm like if you, I genuinely believe if you sat and looked at him or anybody like him, you just don't have a male role model, or you've never had a figure in your life to say, oh, okay, I can be a decent human being.
Again, we're in
Like, male, female, or otherwise, you've never had a role model to look at like, oh, okay, this person's a fucking idiot and go on about your
You know what it is? You're right. But the thing is, like you just said, male or female, these kids now, nobody's being real to their word. Their parents are not being real. So even if you don't got a dad, because I get we all have different upbringing. So I'm not blaming, like, I don't want to just say us dads was not around. Even like no adult, right? A majority of adults now, they're so busy because of work, trying to maintain the household. They don't spend time with their kids.
Yeah.
Like on Sundays when I was a kid, I spent it with my mom. Like
Right.
Sundays, like
No
that
TVs,
day
all that
was
stuff.
with
We
my
big chillin',
family.
like, we're with our
you know what I'm
families,
saying?
like,
By the time I was 14, that was gone because I was 14. I didn't want to hang out with them. But my foundation as a youth, I spent it with my family.
I
like
got you.
I talked to my mom. Like I know how my mom was when she was a little
You had
girl.
questions about the
like,
world,
you know what I'm
right?
saying?
You
Like,
had questions. Hey, Papa, my mom.
These
what
kids
what
don't know
does this
shit
mean?
about their
You don't
parents.
go on Google and ask. You ask your parents what is this? What's happening here? You know.
And then parents are not
You
putting
think
their
you think that's a parent's fault? Or you think that's a kid's fault?
It's the parents'
both.
fault.
It's both.
It's the parents' fault.
It's both.
Parents got lazy because again, we became a world of convenience.
That's true.
Oh, my kid is crying. Plate Coco Melon.
iPad.
I don't want to
Yeah,
tell you
that's
to
facts.
shut up.
That's facts.
So you never tell your kid and teach your kid to be quiet at times.
Or you as
so
a
now
parent,
that kid is 14 on Twitter talking dumb shit.
Okay.
And then it's a bunch of them because they were all 14. So now they're all taking
There's
over
a whole
Twitter.
class of these
And then now you
niggas,
remember
yeah.
like your Twitter wasn't like this. I used to
At
make
all.
bullshit jokes
You can
all the
roast and
time.
keep it moving.
Yeah.
Now you
What's
roast.
going on?
Now
But
you're
these
bullying.
kids
Yes.
were never told to shut up.
Nigga, they created a whole term, cyberbullying, for these little niggas.
Bro, just
And
log
you
off.
remember when
Who
they
can
had,
turn that shit
you
off?
remember when they had whole campaigns
off.
where you could literally just turn the fucking
Log
computer
off.
off. That's all you
Or
had
next
to
time,
do.
Take your L and don't do that shit tomorrow.
Or
you know?
because this feature has been around since social media has been around, block the nigga and go on about your fucking day.
Oh,
Make fun of them too.
But no, you gonna cry
Make fun of them too. Like
or kill yourself.
Make
Like,
fun-
at the fucking worst case scenario. Like there's actual babies killing themselves over Twitter. Like how the fuck?
but like
did
you
get
said,
here?
you said that those kids, the foundation's already like
They found because
Social media.
they life is social media, so it's like, all right, my social media is getting blown up, my life is getting blown up. But
It's the
no,
validation,
you don't
gratification.
realize
It's
don't none of this shit matter if I don't log in for 2 days.
None of shit matter if you don't have no
None
money
of
in your
this
account,
shit
bro.
matters at all.
You don't have money in your
Like
account, bro. Fuck all this clout.
even if
not
you're an
paying the
influencer,
bills.
okay, if you lose your account, that's making you money. Okay, that's a whole different story.
Exactly.
That's your livelihood. I
99%
get that.
people are not doing that.
I get that. Also, I think you should at least have, if you were an influencer and you making all your money off all these things, you should at least have had a business to promote.
have a website,
Have
a
something for you to
subscription
get
model.
some
A
bread.
financial advisor, maybe.
But no, but it's like, all right, cool. So you just gonna fuck up. Social media is your whole life. So as a kid, this is your whole life. And the only option, especially back then, the only option, because for even us back in high school days, high school was everything. Like when we was in high school, that was all we knew. We ain't knew what life was. So if shit was a problem at school, shit was a real life problem.
No, for sure.
This is
So
all
now-
we knew. So
they
now
got high school problems and social media.
you feel me? So now it's like I get, okay, I get to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, my nigga, you have to realize this is not real life.
Yeah.
This is not real
But when
life.
you're not outside.
Do you think it's affecting
how
the
can
boys or the girls more? I think it's affecting the girls more.
Because
Because
I genuinely think it's affecting the girls.
You know
more,
why-
But
you know
the
why
boys are bad.
The
though.
boys are bad, but the thing about the advantage boys have that girls. I'm sorry, ladies, that the men gotta deal with reality at the end of the day. There's an age a dude gets whether it's 18, 21, 25.
And when you realize
reality
there ain't
hits
shit
you
else that
and you
can
realize
do.
you got to shut the fuck up and grind.
Yeah,
A woman can bypass that a lot of times.
that's true.
Because another dude can take care of them.
That's a grind by
Reality
itself,
is not as real with them.
That's a grind by
You know what
itself,
I'm saying?
though.
That's why
Selling
Kevin.
dreams is a grind.
That's why Kevin Samuel was so raw because he kept it 100. He was like, "You're not cute. You're not gonna get the rich dude," and that's a fact.
Unless you have something to bring to the table.
That's a fact. And even if you got something to the table, he's a rich dude. You're not gonna be the only one.
And you gotta be a willing.
And that's a
You
fact.
gotta play your role. You gotta play.
But
your
they
role.
but they sugarcoat these things.
Okay, everyone wants to stand in their truth. And the crazy part
But
is,
as a dude, you can't bypass. There's a dude at the end, because as a dude, the girl will keep it real with you. She's like, "You're not cute." She'll tell you that. But as a dude, you're not gonna tell the girl that. You're gonna be like, "I got a lot going on in my life."
Tell you
Right,
right there,
you probably would.
Shit.
But most dudes,
I done told a bitch she ugly a couple times. You know how many times I felt disrespected?
most dudes will be like, "Oh, I got a lot going on." They'll just ghost her. That's why girls.
That's
say
true.
that.
They're
not gonna really disrespect the chick.
They'll bow out without any
But
explanation
dudes,
before they say
whether it's a
something. Yeah.
girl, your boss, life,
That's
your
facts.
mama, your daddy, your cousins, they're gonna keep it real with you. They'll be like, "Yo, you're a bum. You get your shit together." But a girl can be a bum, but she can bypass that because
She pretty, yeah. That's facts.
she don't even have to be pretty, bro. She just gotta be soft.
soft
The
life
government
enough.
will take care of them, bro.
Soft life enough.
The
What do
government
you
will-
mean by soft?
The government.
Wait, first off, what do you mean by soft? Because the image in my head, I don't think it matched up with what
What's
you
your
meant.
image?
What did you mean?
Feminine.
What did you? Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't want to say that word because
Okay.
that word is like a trigger word to girls.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
Tell
fat.
me-
That's why I was
Oh
like.
no.
I was like,
Soft line.
Like
so
soft,
so
like you
if she's
just-
soft and squishy,
just
they'll
need-
protect her. Oh, okay.
But look at what the government. The government will give a girl housing, and if she got a boyfriend, the boyfriend can't live in that house because if the minute she says the boyfriend lives in that house, they won't give her the public housing no more. Not even a boyfriend. Let's say she got a little brother, but she's 22. The little brother's 18 because he's an adult.
Oh shit.
You have a grown man living in the house. They're not going to give you the public housing. So the government is already letting women know, yo, you want my help? Get rid of a nigga.
Yeah.
The government.
We're getting deep.
The government is doing that. So forget about us doing them wrong. Before we even do them wrong, they're good. Right? Now, let's talk about child support.
Yeah.
States make money off child support. So
Oh, for
even if you got a good relationship with your baby moms, and you be like, yo, I'm going to take the kids on Wednesday to Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. We alternate weeks. I'm going to pay for the school. Good relationship. You don't need child support. The state would encourage the woman to put the dude in child support because the state will make money from the child support. They get federal money for having a certain amount of people in child support. So that right there lets you know the system want them to be beefing. That's why I get mad because I'm like, you can't even get before we even get mad at the dude. Let's talk about the system itself.
There's no point getting mad at the system no more. You know the game's the game now.
Yeah.
See,
Going back to
that's my
shortening the
problem.
stick.
Fuck the game is the game. There's no reason when we have so many other countries that we see. It's like, yo,
How you gonna change the game though?
burn this bitch down.
Or move?
Burn this bitch down.
All right, move, bro.
But when,
Why
no.
move?
But
Okay. I understand why move because I definitely have thought about moving to either.
Move
Jamaica-
where? Let's
to
talk
either-
about it.
I'm either
going
moving.
back to Africa,
Either
bro.
moving to Jamaica or Japan. One of the two.
Belize,
First and
choose
foremost,
your
those are my two
tropical
countries.
island.
okay, but
That I
so
would move to.
think about it.
But I'm saying,
We know America.
yeah.
When we all start moving, you think they're gonna do what China's doing now with COVID? Oh, airports closed.
I mean, you gotta be proactive. You can't just do a mass exodus. You gotta.
But the moment they saw from 2019 to 2025, black people moved 5% out of the country.
hey,
Look what they're doing with just seeing the breath declining on white people. They bringing abortion back. They just saw a small decline, like it went from 2.1 to 1.7. Abortion back.
Yep.
They got the numbers. That's what I'm saying. We have to rebuild America. We built this
We
shit.
don't
Why
have
we
to.
leaving it?
because it's not our country. It's not our land.
We
bro.
built it.
No, it is.
We built
It
it.
is.
Nah,
It is.
Yes, we built
If
it.
anything,
but
we
it's
know
ours,
this
though.
land
If
more.
anybody's land, it's our land and
I'm
Native
a-
Americans' land.
It's the
100%.
land. It's not our land no more.
As an African,
Okay, so who-
as an
okay.
African, you know this is our land because we used to come there way before the slave
Correct.
trade.
I was about to
Matter
say,
of fact,
but-
we made it with
But
the
once again,
natives.
but what are the chance of you knowing your lineage is always up to that point? That person, you don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
it.
we don't
so
know
let's be
it.
realistic. Yes, in a perfect world,
Okay.
You hold on. You want to go down to your lineage, but since you don't know your peak lineage, let's just call a spade a spade. If you don't know your native tribe, what do you owe to this land? You don't owe
Okay,
nothing.
so if you don't know your native tribe, where would you go?
Anywhere else that will accept your kind.
Okay,
But-
so
but our kind is not accepted.
Says who?
Wait. But where would you
Says
go
who?
if your home is here? Why would you go anywhere else? If this is your home and this has been your home for generations.
Home is where the heart is, as a cliche.
And
You
if
can
your
go
heart
wherever you
has
wanna
been
go.
built here, your
but
family has been
Your
built
heart can
here.
fly away else
You
too.
can literally trace your generations back until the boat.
Correct.
No,
So
let's
if
keep-
you have been here since then, you can't tell where you've been from. Your family has been developed here.
And you can now change.
Why
your
would
future
you go
generation.
anywhere else?
You can now change your future generation to prevent the same curse happening onto them.
What you're saying is to sacrifice everything that you built.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Why would
Welcome
I do
to
that?
America, where your sacrifices
But
happen.
check this out, though.
That's how
So
the game
give up
works.
everything
Y'all
I
talk
built to
about-
have to rebuild or have to rebuild a whole new life in a whole
Not
country that I
rebuild,
don't
it's
know.
just
Tell
No.
relocate.
What you're
Just
saying.
relocate.
What you're saying is relocate. But if I
Yes.
don't know that land, I have to rebuild a whole
Do
life.
your research.
Check this out.
I have to rebuild a whole life though.
But
That's
check this
what
out.
you're
But
missing.
check this out. Check this out. You talking about relocating, bro? We just said America got every nation on lock when it comes to military. The moment we start to, they will kill that wherever you relocate. They got it marked.
Sometimes
Bombs over Baghdad.
That's what I'm saying. America do not.
Yo,
Bro, you gotta
military doesn't
understand.
even matter at this point,
You-
bro. If the military want to get you got in the war, okay, guess what?
But
you die in the
you-
war.
you gotta
can't
understand-
You can't prevent that shit
You
from
gotta
happening.
understand. America, as much shit we talk about them, they figured it out when it comes to world
As a
domination.
business, as
They
a business,
figured
they
it out.
figured it out.
I'm
As
gonna
a
tell you how they
business.
figured it out, because what they've done is they became the only nation that really consumes. So when it comes to making money,
As a business,
that's what matters.
correct.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
No, because in the American life,
No,
money,
in the world.
It's global,
I say no, but there's certain countries where communal
Yeah,
things are more important.
But guess what? I got some money.
You
fuck
have
all
to
that.
money moves the world.
Yeah,
Regardless,
yeah.
But especially in America.
Correct.
But check this out.
Especially.
What America's done though, because they became the most consuming nation. So like I said, I lived in China.
Yeah.
I was one of those people like in a couple of years China's gonna take over. I lived there. I'm like, they can't take over. It won't be in their advantage to take over. Because they don't consume. They don't innovate.
No, see,
they need to be the workers.
See, the thing is, they've already done it though.
Yeah, they've done it in their own way.
They've done it in their way. Because
Yeah,
like
so-
the way that people think of takeover is okay. They'll send out people. No, every product. I think
Every product is
no.
made
I want to say 70 to 80% of the world's products come from China.
Not only that,
Like
Not
that's
only that-
incredible.
their resources always like we talk about Jamaica, your airport, it's the Chinese. They own that. Talk about Nigeria.
Exactly.
Half of the
Oil
Nigeria shit is owned by the Chinese.
Do you know how many mines they own in
That's what
fucking
I'm
like?
saying.
Come on,
So
bro.
like that's how
China
they
and the
taking
UK,
over.
dynasty.
So they are taking over.
Business.
Dynasty.
Business, they are taking
so-
over, but guess what?
Yeah.
They need the American consumption still.
Correct.
So no matter what, even like you know how they say even Rome got destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah, but you go to Rome right now, it's popping.
But
Rome is still alive.
Yeah.
You feel
Rome
me?
got relocated. They got destroyed. Just changed locations.
Yeah,
Where
but
they
the
go
thing
to?
But
DC.
they didn't change countries, nigga. They just moved cities.
No, they changed countries. Rome went to America.
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah.
That is
the
Roman-
mindset.
Yes,
the conquering.
the Western civilization, the manifest destiny, all that shit is derived from Roman philosophy. They translate. They left. They left.
I'd say
to
more.
the new world.
I'd say more.
And then
UK.
they got and this is
I'd say more UK than Rome for
This
sure.
is a blend. It's a
I'd say
blend.
more UK than anything because at the end of the day, UK was
It did
still.
bounce to UK. Yes.
I was about to say because at the end of the day, the UK was still known as the largest empire to ever exist.
and guess what?
Like they were the empire where the sun never set.
And guess
you
what?
feel me?
What are the three city provinces in the world that own each other? It's DC, London, UK, and then the Vatican. You can legit see the map.
and it goes back to what? The Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
Come on now. So
Goes
once
back to
again,
the Federal Reserve.
so once
That's
you-
what I'm saying. America got it on lock. Like America's gonna downfall. There's gonna be
Correct.
probably a major World War III might happen.
Some shit, yeah.
Yeah, but it's part of their plan.
No, at the end of the day, if I'm
It's
being
part of
honest,
their plan.
America's
Like,
downfall
They
is
got
going
the
to be America.
petrodollar. Like
America's downfall is going to be America, 100%.
correct. So
Like,
again,
like without like,
And then their come
like-
up is gonna be them
like,
too.
And what's crazy is there's no like, and I know as many wars as we have waged, I know for a fucking fact if if somebody decided to try to invade America,
It's over.
it's not going to go.
That's why they know. Bro, we the one that did the atomic bomb, so they know what we're about.
The
they know,
military
like,
industrial complex.
They know, like, if you try us, we're willing to destroy
You
everything.
feel me? Like we got
Twice. They did that twice,
we got
let you know.
18-year-olds on deck to send across the world, nigga. Like
Bro, we
all
don't
these
even
niggas,
have that.
all
We got
these,
drones
all
now.
these niggas
Yeah,
fresh out of high school. We
We
sending
got
them y'all
drones now.
We
doorstep.
got one button.
You
We
feel
got
me?
drones now. That's what I'm saying. Like, America, when it comes to world conquer and world domination, they
Man.
got it. But what they forgot to count about is that we're still human beings. We have souls. There's a greater play out there. I don't want to get into the spiritual
agree.
stuff.
You
But
can.
like, at the end of the day, there's
So
a bigger power in play that they're
Yeah.
not thinking about.
Correct.
And that's the power that's going to create the change. Where there might still be a world domination, but it's going to be a much more better world
And
domination.
that's why I say play the game. All right.
Yeah.
If you know America's about making money, it's America's real life monopoly. Real life monopoly. Play the game. Now it's up to you. If you know what the American rules is now in 2022, with all this information technology, we cannot complain anymore how America's built. We already know the truth.
And to be
So,
honest, it's in our advantage. If we're in America, but that's what
It's
I'm
the
saying.
best place
Like
to
we
get a
we
flip.
just talk about relocating, bro. At the end of the day, America's still the best country. We can
to get
sit-
your money up,
We can
yes.
sit here.
The
get
best
your-
country for what?
To get your money
From
up.
nothing to something.
Yes.
America.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck what nobody
Yes.
say. From
Bro.
nothing to
Yes,
something.
I
I
agree.
don't need to speak the language. I
Nope.
don't need to do nothing. I just gotta be in the land.
And know one
America's
skill.
the only place.
One hard skill.
America's
Yeah.
the only
And go
place that's
crazy.
gonna give me that advantage, bro.
I wouldn't say only place, but it's probably the best.
Top.
place.
It's the best place.
Top.
Probably the best.
Bro,
place.
niggas going viral, getting rich off of YouTube, off of ASMR.
But
eating food.
there's a reason why you look at South America, Middle East. People are willing to go through deeps of measures to come here. Barbed wires, the ocean.
Swimming.
Haitians swim from Haiti to Florida,
See,
bro.
but the
You know what I'm saying?
With
Like
sharks.
swim. They didn't
With
take no
sharks.
boat. They just
Unlimited.
swim. Got into a place that took their breath. Continued to swim, bro.
At night.
Like,
At night.
I'm fucking weak.
No
like-
light outside. No flash.
they ain't doing that to Europe.
Nah, that's fact.
They're not doing that to
But-
go to Belize.
So-
Only
So
America.
catch this though. So since you know where everyone wants to go here, yes, use this land for your advantage. Get your money up. But now, if you have enough money, congrats. You can either A, continue playing this game, or B, exit the game and make money still there and live somewhere else.
That's facts.
Literally.
Yeah, you could do that. What I
Literally.
think we need to do too is we need to invest back because America.
No, that's the biggest problem.
We need to invest back in America.
No.
What I
It's
mean
not-
by back in America, like the inner cities, like we need
I'm about to
because
say,
there's a
no,
lot of real estate in
our
America.
community.
That's not.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because if there, first and foremost, there's no body on earth aside from rich white people in America that spends as much money as black people do.
Yeah.
We are the most spending population in
it's-
America.
It's 'cause we don't have
But
the
we
knowledge.
also we can't keep it because everything that is owned, everything that we buy, everything that we promote is owned by somebody else.
It's
Whether it be
marketed to
the
us.
gas stations, whether it be the nail salons, whether it be a fucking retail store, whether it be a luxury store, those are all owned by other people. So the few options that we do have, we always run into the problems of customer service and this, that, and the other. Because it's brand new to us. So for the most part, business we're still figuring out as a collective. I'm not saying I'm not saying a specific individual, but as a collective, we're still figuring it out. The
key is banking,
so
bro.
it comes to the
Federal Reserve.
fact like, yo, you can't get loans, you can't get businesses, you can't get locations.
Okay,
then,
but check this out. We can't get
at
loans.
the end of the day,
Fine.
you can't send no money back.
We can't get loans. Fine. You got a job? You
No.
making money?
Yeah,
You get you every month you find a way to take care of your needs.
I got bills to pay.
Yeah. You doing the same.
But-
I'm doing
but-
the same.
but bills-
we can't get a loan.
yeah.
But you got 10. You got 1,000. I got 1,000. You got 1,000.
That's
That's
true.
3,000.
That's true.
Let's start with 3,000,
Susu money.
and then we make a little money from that. Now they'll definitely give us the loan because we showed them what we did with 3,000. So again, that's the victim mindset. I'm saying, yeah, we can't get a loan, but there's other ways to eventually get a loan.
They're eventually.
Yeah, and if we can't get a loan, we can loan
I was
each
about to say
other.
eventually.
Let's loan each other because
How bad do you
if
want
I
it?
say, yo, Storm, I got this idea, you listen to it, you think it's good, you listen to it, you think it's good. I say in 6 months, let's bring 1,000 to the table.
Yeah.
We can do that.
All right, so
We
what y'all
call
think?
3 other homies. Now that's
what
6K.
y'all, so what y'all think the most important things for us as a people to do is right now?
Get our bag up. Number one. The more niggas.
Talk to each other. So we can, like you said, we get our money together and we put our money together.
Okay.
So like think about us. Like think about the kids on our North Cobb High School. I'm gonna name some names. You, myself, Caleb.
I mean, but
Like,
no,
think
if
about
I
just the squad.
I was about to say if I'll be honest,
all of us come together, it's over. Like we own the entertainment industry. Like we got this.
We could, for sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And it's like, and the thing is,
and that's 6 dudes from Kennesaw. Like
there
you know what
are
I'm saying?
there are so many, especially with like high schools and shit. Like people that we just so happen to know. There's so much talent, but it's like unless you have a way to actually use that talent, it's fucking hard.
Yeah. Can
you feel me? Like because that's the hard part. Because like, yo, I can set aside $1,000 if I save up for a little bit, you know, because most niggas are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
It's like I could save up for that, but then boom, let one emergency happen, my whole fund is gone.
Yeah. That happens. That's
you feel me? You feel me? And it's like, all right, that's one issue that, you know, especially like the starting out, because
it's hard to start.
It's harder to make your first 10,000 than it is to make your first million. You feel me? Because once you get from 100,000 to $1 million, that's way easier than it is to get from $1 to 10,000.
Correct.
100%.
Because of dividends. Yeah.
You feel me? Because of the dividends, and it once you have more money to play with, you have more money to make off the return. But it's like, if you can't build that, if you like, granted we have communities and we know motherfuckers, but it's like, yo, at the end of the day, if everybody is in survival mode, we can't turn to thrive. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because that's the main problem. Because majority of Black America is been in survival mode.
But the thing is, this is when, going back to the immigrants, practice group economics. Like we have to come together. Like you may have to stay at mom's house for a little bit.
Live below your means.
You have to, but I mean,
you
America,
may have to.
But in America, that's
fuck what America say.
But think about it. If you grew up here, that's all you know, right? True. So boom. If all you know is trying to impress people, do this, that, and the other, trying to, you know, okay, this person went to high school with me, they're doing this, I should be doing this, and you fuck around and take on some debt that you had no business taking on, and then you fucked yourself up, and now you fucked up for the next 7 years. Because you one fuck up on your credit report is there for 7 years straight. Yeah. You feel me? Then now you down in the dumps for 7 years until you can get your shit right, and that's if you can keep it flowing through then. So it's like, America is just designed for you to fail, and it's like, especially as a Black person, it's like, yo, we have to fight to live first, survive second, and then thrive last.
America's designed for us to fail, but there's a very simple, like you can live a simple life.
What word was you trying to say?
Strategic.
Oh, I was like, damn, that word was beating your ass.
For real. But it's like you talk about the credit system, the poor education, all these things are there to bring us down. Yeah. But it's very simple though. Like you said, live under your need. Again, we don't practice group economics.
Community.
You know what?
That's all we need to do as Black people. Like, yeah, we living to survive, but we gotta suck it up and understand.
How financially literate do you think, as a people, we are?
Oh, we're
like, give me a percentage.
The majority of Black people.
Like, I'm saying, like, just majority of Black people in general.
Over
like,
50.
Over 50?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's
fucking
crazy. But the average for the average American is probably 40. It's like, it's not. We're not that far from the average. White people don't have that much financial literacy too. It's only like 10 families that really got it, bro.
They don't have as much financial literacy, but they have more financial opportunity.
Correct. That's all you need, though. You just need,
that's the difference. So for us specifically, like, we have to have, which is something that we're very lacking on, especially in. Cause like we like to spend money on bullshit, like for real. Like we spend money on a lot of bullshit.
Cause we never had, so we got
exactly. We never had, but I mean, after all these years, we've had shit. We've seen niggas with shit. It's like, all right, we know MC Hammer bought a gold toilet. Nigga went broke a couple years later. Why are we still wilding out if we can't afford it? You feel me? It's like, all right, there's a lesson that we need to learn. We need to teach ourselves because obviously we're not learning it. And then it's like, okay, who is going to teach though? At the end of the day, who's going to teach those lessons?
Like I said, on the spiritual point, that's the answer. I thought, but maybe in another episode we talk about it. But the spiritual answer is the answer to all this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
because when you
can't do it by yourself.
When you, that's what I'm saying. When we was talking about earlier, kids are taking shrooms. I'm like, shrooms not gonna even give you the magic as a kid because the shrooms gonna get in your brain. It's gonna be like, oh, you don't know shit yet. It's just gonna be a funny high.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be a funny high. It's not gonna give you like
a spiritual test.
It's test because it's like you're still a child.
That's facts.
You know, and
been through shit.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Been through some stuff.
You don't know shit. You don't know shit
enough.
You don't know shit
to equate for.
You don't know shit.
6 hour trip.
Like because think about it.
You won't even comprehend. You might have a trip, but
you know what's real though. As a 17-year-old, you look at a 13-year-old, you don't know shit. As a 21-year-old, you look at a 17, 18-year-old, you don't know shit. As a 25-year-old, you look at somebody 21-year-old, you don't know shit. It's like, yo,
it keeps going.
You just have to understand at the end of the day,
wisdom.
People, you have to learn as you grow. As the longer that you're on this earth, the more shit you'll experience.
And what they're doing
the
to
more
us
shit that you'll
now
pull from.
is they're programming us to stop growing.
They're trying to.
That's why we got so woke.
And that's why they had such a big problem with TikTok, especially Donald Trump. That's why he was so heavy on like, yo, we need to shut TikTok down because the kids alone, as much shit as we talked about them little niggas, if anybody will go to war with their parents about what they believe in. Yeah, like, we watched them the entire election, like full Caucasian families, like, yo, y'all have been Republican this whole time. This person that I'm looking at is a piece of shit, and I don't support y'all for sure. Like, that was the first time we've ever seen that.
Not only that too, but
ever
accountability.
Like ever, for real. Like kids straight up making their parents accountable. Like, yo, what you're saying is uneducated. I don't fuck with it. I don't like it. And if that's the problem, then we gonna have a problem. That was the first time we ever seen some shit like that.
A lot of families had looked up in the mirror.
Because what Trump did was he woke up a portion of America.
It wasn't
he
woke up a portion. He polarized the entirety of America.
You can't
it was either you with him or you against him. He polarized it. So it was very clear to see what sides people on, how people think.
How do you think he was able to do that? Because they dumbed us down
by being no.
Being himself.
No, he was himself.
No, I'm saying
he was himself to an extent, but he knew for a fact that the Republicans were slower than everybody else.
Because they dumbed us down. That's what I'm saying. Like that, there was a time America wanted us to be smart people, and then we built the forts. We built the America that we know as today, and then they got this power now. Like we can't let them be smart. We're gonna devalue our education system. Because if they continue to be smart, they won't even need government.
That was a whole 100 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Because if they kept investing in humanity the way they were supposed to, you think we would have presidents by now?
No.
No, we would just have protocols.
Bro, yeah, like, nah,
it would just be protocols.
If America progressed how it should have, we would have had a parliament a long time ago.
Yeah, we would just be
like,
protocols.
fuck having houses and all that, we would have had a parliament a long time ago. We would have been fine. Like, if we would have had a parliament, we would have been straight. Like, just have
but it's gonna
one
happen.
Prime Minister in a parliament. Like,
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to take World War III.
Only after this bitch burns to the ground.
Yeah, it's going to take World War III. It's going to take some mass violence.
Before it gets better, it got to get worse.
It got to get worse.
It's going to take probably another bad leader. You know, during the World War III.
Maybe, yeah.
Antichrist coming
you know.
And
then so much bullshit's going to happen from that. We're going to rise up.
You got to make a choice.
And it's going to be a much better polished version than what we have now.
I agree.
Just like, again, we had to go to World War II to even allow women to work. Think about what we had to do to get women to work.
That's true.
We had to go World War II.
That's facts.
And be like, oh, I guess they can work.
There were too many there was too many men at war that were like, yo, we don't have enough workers. All right, let them work. That was really it.
You know what I'm saying?
Just like drastic.
So it's going to take World War III nuking each other to be like, oh man, we really just all one race, the human race. Oh damn, like if we really just care about one another, the planet will replenish itself.
Oh man, we getting there.
We will be able to evolve in a better way. Like when we go back and then think about the people that built the pyramids, people like to say aliens. I'm like, I don't know about all that. I'm like, if people were
I think
the only reason they say aliens because they don't want to give Africans the credit for having that much intelligence.
I just think we were progressive. I think again the world is
there,
the world is like 90 billion years old. Like,
no,
you think this is the first time the iPhone came around?
You want me to?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially about Egypt, bro. It was like, and I'm gonna fuck this up for the fourth time on this podcast, but like we are closer to Cleopatra than the Great Pyramids. Like it's something like we're closer to Cleopatra in time than the Great Pyramids are being built to Jesus. Like that's how long
that's what I'm saying.
The Egyptian civilization ran. So you're telling me a civilization that ran for 7,000 years somehow didn't have the technology to build a fucking pyramid.
And then we just been around
like, come on, bro.
2000 and we got iPhones already.
Yeah,
I could only imagine if they had 7,000 years to think.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
and then they got it in a way where the whole pyramids, when you look at it from a world view, they all connect. I'm talking about all the pyramids from Egypt to Mexico. They all make a point access to the earth. So I'm like, they had something figured out. And then I never been in Egypt, but I went to Peru. Nice. And I went to Machu Picchu. Yeah, I was in Machu Picchu, and I'm like, oh, like you just felt the energy.
The Incas.
Well, it was more. Machu Picchu was like this.
Peru, right?
Yeah, it's in Peru.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's all something like that. I don't know the exact tribe.
Bro, you thinking of Mexico?
Yeah, but Mexico.
Yeah, you thinking of Mexico?
I'm saying it's the Incas then.
Nah. Peru is
the Incas.
They were big dudes. They were big natives.
People,
or the Olmecs type it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a completely.
Olmecs is Mexico.
Yeah, I was about to say you thinking of Mexico like the Mexican like tribes and shit.
But like all I'm saying is back like the way they had the architecture.
Yeah.
They had built
the
earthquake proof stuff. So that lets me know like okay, like when they say nothing new under the sun, nothing's new under the sun. Again, I go back to what.
Oh, you were right, Inca.
When we look at this is the forbidden fruit.
Yeah. Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
that's facts.
It's like nothing's new under the sun. This thing been around. Like when you go and you look at like the Gilgamesh statue, there's the giant holding the lion, but you see a watch. And then you're like, yo, they had the concept of time back then?
Exactly.
So you realize, like, yo, this is...
There's no new concepts. We're just literally rediscovering old shit and just adding electricity to it. That's it.
Oh, the electricity was already been around.
Yeah. Electricity's been around, but as far as, like, the intricate wiring shit, that's
probably our style.
As far as we know, that's our style.
This is
billable.
But they did all that without this. They built the aqueducts, the sewer systems. They had all of this shit without any of that. Yeah. This was just word of mouth, individual ideas like, yo, I'm going to build this, I'm going to make this happen. And they did that really just, I want to say because Jesus was 2,000 years ago? If fucking Egypt has been 7,000, that's 5,000 years, then that's 5,000 BC, but you had how many thousands of civilizations that are older than them that we have record of that haven't been wiped off completely off the map. Think about how many motherfucking civilizations, because when we go to war, we wipe people off the map. That's the main process of war. Eliminate the people. So you had the Celtic people, they got eliminated. You got the Moors, they got eliminated. You have all of these civilizations who had all of these thousands of years to develop and build all their shit. And somehow, some way, you telling me that we're the only ones that got to this point? How? How would that be possible? You telling me that we the only people think about it. We on a floating rock in expanding nothingness. And you want me to believe that I'm the only fucking planet with people on it? Get the fuck out of here. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. But there's more. But the thing about light years, space.
The thing about light years is hard to connect with those people. Like that's why I believe in aliens, but I don't think we can ever meet them because of light years. Like
we can't meet them. They can meet us.
Why you say they?
Because think about it. If we've survived for however hundreds of millions of years and we've gotten to this point of technology where we can actually reach space, imagine if there's another civilization or another planet who is somehow survived.
What if they're not?
It don't matter if they're not like humanoids. It don't matter. They survive
because there could be planets, but they're like octopus, and octopus are very smart, but they ain't about to build space.
Right,
but they're smart.
But at the end of the day, we might be the only ones who can't travel into space, but there's probably another set of people who don't have a solid atmosphere who survive on their planet who can travel into space whenever the fuck they want to.
But when you think about light years, like
you don't know though.
There's
too much.
It's about the level of consciousness.
There's too much because if you think about the size of our sun, you can expand out. Over 70,000 times, and you would only see a certain parts of certain galaxies. Like the full expansion of what we recorded in space. The amount of galaxies and planets and shit.
It's crazy.
Universes, it's like, nigga, there's no way in fuck you can convince me that we the only people here. There's no way.
We're not the only living thing.
And there's no way that you can convince me that nobody has been more technology advancing. If we can think of the shit like that we see in movies, you think that they can't think of the same shit and make it a reality? Get the fuck out of here. They got different resources, different elements, different planets and shit.
I just think too.
You never know.
The thing about aliens too. Sometimes we have to think like we can't look at them as humanoids. They could be.
Oh, for sure. Because
they could, like I said, like
to make them like ET and shit. We
like
don't
an
know what they look like.
octopus is very smart, but they're not about to build spacecraft. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, but we never thought we built spacecraft. Yeah. Think about it. 100 years ago, if you would have told us we going into space, everybody on the Earth would have looked at you like you're stupid. Yeah. 200 years ago, if you would have told niggas that the Earth was round instead of flat, they would have looked at you like you were stupid.
But they have
never know.
And museums are showing like back in the Mona Lisa days of having spacecrafts behind the scenes. So
yeah, I mean, they got hieroglyphics of niggas in.
To be honest with you, you're right because of the UFOs and stuff. What I do think though is, so okay, do you subscribe to the theory that we might be the aliens?
I mean, to other planets, we are the aliens.
No, like we were not from Earth. We got dropped off.
It's possible, but I wouldn't subscribe
not
to it.
Not for every species.
I'm talking about us, human beings.
I wouldn't subscribe to it.
Even as human beings, I don't think it's
like if anything, they might have. Like if I want to subscribe to that, I'd say they dropped off the apes first. Or something like that. Because you can literally trace our DNA back to them. Like, it's like...
We've evolved, obviously.
Yeah, like, we've evolved from them.
I'm talking about whatever we've evolved to. Because the reason why sometimes I think about that, like,
we got to wrap this up soon, too.
Yeah, me too, because I got to bounce so bad. I've been fascinated by reptiles lately. Because I just think, like, I'm like, yo, they're the only creature that's, like, designed for Earth. They can live underwater. Yeah. Not all reptiles, but...
Some mammals too. Some mammals.
Yeah, but they handle all terrains of weather.
They can deal with anything of weather. Yo, they don't even need pussy to reproduce. Some of them.
Facts.
You know, like they'll just do it themselves. That's true. And then the way they can adapt.
But you know, like I mean, like ocean life is the longest living life. Like,
think about all the reptiles that also come from ocean life.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like everything that came on land developed from ocean creatures. So it was like we started out from there and then we came on land.
That's why we're 90% water.
Exactly.
So when I look at a reptile and I'm like, yo, what if we really like? Because when you think about the human experience, it's not a beautiful experience.
Oh, it's a shitty.
But when you look at the dog, like your dog has a better life experience.
Do you see this nigga laying next to me?
Yeah, like think about it. He's getting cared for. He is.
He has a great life.
You know what I'm saying? Like let's just say
sensational.
But let's just say because he's domesticated. Let's look at the life of a wolf. Opposite. It's a way harder life, but for their life cycle, it's a good life because if he's a boy, he's gonna become the big dog eventually, or he's gonna be part of a pack. They're gonna have that community.
They all know their role.
Yeah,
exactly. So when you look at the animals and you look at us, like we're the ones enslaved, not the animals.
Our egos is fucking.
You know what I'm saying? So when you think about the human experience, it makes sense if you think a group of people that had a lot of technology took whatever mammal that was here, mixed it with their DNA for consciousness, and then created the species to just work. Because somehow this work is giving energy to them. Yeah, it makes more sense than God created us, sent Jesus to die for our sins, and we're still struggling.
It could be a combination of both. Remember, everyone has their own version of the truth.
Yeah.
It's all depends on this perspective.
Yeah. So sometimes I be thinking that, but I think the real message from this whole show was we got to get back to talking to the kids. Yeah. We don't talk to kids. We don't talk to them.
Either we don't talk to them and they don't listen. I think that's like kind of like.
But they don't listen because the adults are trying to put them on. They don't got shit to show.
I was about to say, but you know how like, especially for me growing up, if you're not giving me a reason behind what you're telling me, I don't care what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact the majority of the kids are like that. Like you have to actually explain to them what you're telling them for them to actually care about what the fuck you're talking about.
And you gotta
also as an adult, you have to show that you're actively listening to them as well.
You gotta respect
them. These kids are smart. They know when you're bullshitting answers, and they know when you're actually talking to them as like peer to peer.
When you're looking at them versus looking through them. Yeah.
Exactly. So once you see, because me, I'm like a Gen Z ambassador. Like because my sister, people I'm around, like I see where they're coming from. So it's more like if you speak their language, you have a higher chance of landing the message.
The problem with Gen Z, they got all the information. They got the misinformation, the correct information, the bad information.
So it's up to us to teach them how to filter it.
And all they know is y'all been capping. That's their attitude. Y'all lied. Y'all told me to go to school. Really y'all got me in debt. Y'all told me to work hard. It don't matter. I seen Trump become president.
And you know what's crazy?
So they don't care.
And our generation is the one that started that because if anybody started, we was like, yo, y'all have been lying our entire life. Y'all told us to go to college, and then when we graduated, we ain't had no fucking jobs. So we've been complaining about that shit since we graduated high school. So the kids who was on social media with us, under us, they was like,
They're not
What
hired.
they was like, wait, what the fuck?
He went to college. Like
They was like, wait, I know him. He did this, that, and the other.
Smart.
He
Yeah.
did everything he was supposed to do, and he's
still
out
broke?
here fucked up.
you live here, like
But this nigga that's making YouTube videos is making millions?
Yeah.
ASMR.
Nigga, please.
ASMR, just eating food.
Man, all right.
Hey, we gotta run an ASMR channel after this.
Fuck
bro,
you.
honestly.
I'm not doing that.
Hey,
I'm not.
that's where the bag's at,
I'm not
bro.
doing
What?
that
Eating
ASMR shit.
ASMR,
I'm not doing that.
get some big
That's
ass
my
I hate those.
that's
Hey,
one of
but
my pet
look
peeves,
at
bro.
the
Like,
bag.
no,
It's
you can have.
matter of
the
fact,
bag.
I love my
You
health
can
too
have
much.
the bag, bro.
'Cause I know
they be
these-
eating like
Take
6
it.
pound. They be eating like 40-pound lobsters and shit.
50 years from now, they're gonna be a gut disease
There
for
was-
people
no,
doing
bro,
that
there's,
thing.
There's one YouTuber I remember, buddy, because we gonna end it on this too. I remember there was one YouTuber who like he started his channel like like eating challenges and shit, and like he was a skinny
I know what you're talking
dude.
about. Now he's fat.
Now he's fat as a bitch
Yeah.
because he's been doing YouTube channels every week. Like, okay, I can eat 10 Big Macs, I can eat 100 chicken wings, but he's been doing that every week for some years, and now he's huge.
You gotta know when to sub out. That's the key in America.
Yeah.
You have to know when. Hey,
It's a
you
damn
balling hard
shame.
right now, but hey, you need a break. Your
That's a
Gatorade
damn
side is
shame.
showing, bro.
Facts.
It's a damn shame.
Niggas get burned out, creative. That's a whole thing, but.
It's a damn
dog,
shame.
Appreciate you coming up.
We
appreciate it,
you
man.
coming through,
Definitely
Reggie,
need
man.
you to come up for another episode.
I'm
Also,
down.
Yeah,
I'm
whenever you want to come
I'm
back,
down,
brother,
man.
you
I'm
welcome.
down.
If you ever want to have us on the show, just let us know.
Oh yeah,
I'll
bro.
pull up,
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
Just let us know. So
For sure.
this has been another episode of Okay So Boom. As always, I have been your host, Storm, aka the beautiful chocolate nigga, aka yo baby mama's baby daddy, aka Big Dick Willie. And this has been your host, your other host.
And this is your boy, Nigeria's finest, Nigeria's Trey Songs.
Okay.
Nigeria's genuine.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Alright. Alright.
You Nigeria's genuine and Trey Songz. You're a light skinned dude and Trey Songz. Like, you can't be both.
Nigga light skin as fuck.
Can't be both. Yo, it's Reg, man. Again, go listen to No Nonsense Show. You know,
Description right there.
yeah, man.
We'll
Go
put in
listen
the-
to
we'll
it,
put in the
man.
description.
Go listen to it.
Anything
And-
else you want to let them know? Like anything coming
I
up?
mean, yo,
Anything
I mean,
special?
this hat I'm wearing is my business called Give. We do a lot of cool stuff. Like, you know, you support us. Every now and then we do some cool stuff. Like I said, we're working on some stuff in Nigeria, trying to bring some products there. So
I remember
you know,
y'all. I remember y'all brought some relief to Haiti a couple years.
Yeah,
ago,
yeah,
too.
we've done a lot. Like when I went to
that.
Peru was to help out.
Yeah.
We did some stuff in Kenya. We've done some stuff like when I lived in China. I did a lot of cool stuff there. That was kind of cool because they don't really do charity work over there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of dope. So support us, man, and you know,
Well, make sure we put the description in the. Make sure we put his link in the description. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what y'all think about what we talked about because I need to hear some of y'all comments and some of y'all opinions on this shit because this is an open discussion. We just want to hear y'all opinions.
It's a safe space, to be honest.
So as always, see y'all next Wednesday. Wish y'all love.
peace.